What's up, everybody? Let me go ahead and set up so I can actually see your chat. Let's bring this over. There we go. Now I can actually see your comments. There we go. All right. Well, we have an exciting day today, don't we? Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Well, we got 53, 56 people. We got people coming in to watch already. This is going to be interesting. Yo, what's up? Hold on a second. Is your picture Elon Musk but black? Is that your picture? I just see black Elon, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that is an Elon Musk, but he's black. I love that. What's up, corgis? How you doing? So this is going to be an interesting night, huh? What's going on, John? What's up, John? How you doing? Wait, there's John White. There's John. What's up to everybody getting error messages? Really? Where? Stephanie, Carrie, Barbara. Oh, I'm going to be streaming it. I'll be streaming it. I have so I'll be streaming it from Tesla's channel. Big fan. Thank you, T. Smith. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming the whole thing, be giving live commentary while we're doing it. What's up, depressed Twins fan? Look, if you're a Twins fan, I imagine that is depressing. But, could be worse. You could be a Mets fan. It keeps cutting out right now. Distant cousin from Elon living in Africa. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hold on, wait. Let's do it. Let's do a quick check. Let's make sure I am live on these. Let's see. Let's view it on Twitch real quick. All right. It is. Okay, so we're live on Twitch. Let me check it out on YouTube. Let me see. We are live on YouTube. Let me check it out on X. And we are live on X. Cool. So we're live on everywhere. Awesome. Sweet. Do I think I will hear something shocking? You know what? You know what I hope to hear? I hope to hear, the RNC definitely does need to pay me. What I hope to hear is that Trump is going to make Elon the head of the Department of Energy. What a fucking wild announcement that would be, right? Imagine if he said, I'm going to make Elon my head of Department of Energy. Or even better, making the press secretary so he can be like, go fuck yourself. Can you do a presidential run on BitLife and Street? What's a president? What's BitLife? What the hell is BitLife? I don't know what that is. What's up, Dun 101? How you doing? What's up, Jana? Or Jana? What's BitLife? I don't know what the fuck BitLife is. Yo, what's up, Warchop? Elon for the space program. That would be interesting. Not enough gray in that beard. I just trimmed it. So the thing is, after I trim it, I actually end up trimming because the gray tends to like sit on top. So when I trim it, it cuts out a lot of the gray actually, which I like. I like the gray. I'm a fan of the gray. I think it's distinguished to have. Oh, it's a life simulation game. So I can like run for president on BitLife. Not too far from you, Miami. Good shit. I'm actually going to be in Miami next week. I've been invited to the premiere of shit. I'm sorry. I'm such an idiot right now. The premiere of City of Dreams. I'm actually going to be on the red carpet. Been invited to the black tie premiere of City of Dreams down in Miami. So me and Emily are going to be our first movie premiere, be our first red carpet. I'm very much looking forward to it, though. Yes, I'm live on X2, Warchop. But yeah, we'll be at the premiere of City of Dreams. So it's a movie by the same people who made Sound of Freedom. The same people who made Sound of Freedom will be made City of Dreams. It's actually about a kid who thought he was being recruited to the U.S. to be a soccer star, and he was actually human trafficked. Black tie premiere sounds racist. On YouTube and Twitch, I've been following you on TikTok for a while. I love your content, especially ones debunking Harry. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There, this is better. Good. You over there on X? Yeah. Well, it says the interview is going to start. I'll show you guys. So, But will you be at the premiere of Am I Racist? Look, if they invite me, I'll be there. I would love to be at that premiere. Luckily, I got an invite to this because of the work I did with A24 and the work I did with Sound of Freedom. I don't know if I'm going to the Democrat convention yet. They haven't. Nobody's found me a ticket yet. So I wanted to go. Let's see here. Here he's going to be crying in his closet. No, he'll be live tweeting. He'll be live tweeting because you know he's going to watch. You're Vincent, also conservative. What's up? Sound of Freedom was amazing. You guys definitely need to get ready to go see City of Dreams because it's made by the same people that made Sound of Freedom. What service? I'm using Restream. Sad, but very well done. Have you guys gotten to see? Because I'm going to the premiere. Of course, why would I? Of course, I wouldn't blow you off Range Minded Podcast. If Donald Trump, what do you mean when Donald Trump wins, Harry's going to lose his fucking mind. Yeah, for sure. You got to see what a real president looks like. Exactly. Sound of Hope was good too. I agree. Yeah, go join the Discord. I mean, absolutely join the Discord. The October surprise. But like I said, I'm really excited. So next week I'll be in Miami for the premiere of City of Dreams. And hopefully, I'll be doing a lot of live streaming from there. I'll be creating a lot of content there for that. You guys get to see me in a tux. I'll be all dressed up. I'm just thankful to be invited to it. I felt privileged to be invited. I'm just happy to be there. Am I going to claim Harry on my taxes? No, because I'm his teacher, not his daddy. Harry is a symptom of a sick society. Oh, it looks like they're starting. Hold on. Let's get this going.
Of this momentous occasion, we have decided to hold an incredible crypto.
What's he doing? Why is his
giveaway right here on stage? Yes, you heard right. Today you can double your
Let me see here.
Crypto assets very easily. So, all right.
Okay, his stream is messing up.
So, attention. On the screen of this YouTube.
This is his stream. This isn't mine that's
broadcast.
This is his.
You see a QR code. Scan it right now to go to our.
All right, let's try this again.
So, attention. On the screen of this YouTube broadcast, you see a QR code. Scan it right now to go to our official website. There, you need to make a deposit in cryptocurrency, in Bitcoin or Ethereum. And what happens next? Let me explain. After you make a deposit, you will receive back on your wallet twice as much.
Let's see if we can find a better.
So if you send at least 0.1 Bitcoin or 1 Ethereum, Solana, or Dogecoin, in a few minutes your balance will return already. Absolutely safe fare. We work with verified and reliable platforms to ensure maximum protection of your funds. You have 24/7 technical support that is always ready to help you with any questions or issues.
What is going on here?
It's a chance for all crypto enthusiasts and users to double their assets.
Why? I cannot believe Elon Musk is launching this and it's screwing up. Like, are you serious right now? Like, this is insane. Let's see. Nope, let's see here. All right, let's see if this one works. All right, I don't know what is going on. There's something, it sounds like it's a scam, like whatever's happening right now. Let me see here. Let's try to find the official channel. Let me do this. I think it's on Tesla's official channel. So let me see. Here. I think it's on Tesla's official channel. Let me see. Nope, it's not. We got to try to find this. Let's try to find it. Let's see if we can find this because this is insane. All right, let's see if we can find the actual video. Let's take a look. Filters. Let's look at lives right now. All right, so these look like scams. Okay, so we are still okay. All right, so we are still 12 minutes out from the start. That was a scam. What they were doing with that was a scam. Yeah, I'm on the Tesla US YouTube channel. It was a scam. There was a fake Tesla account that was trying to scam people using crypto in before the thing started. It was actually really good. They almost got me. I mean, they're not going to get me to scan anything or anything like that, but I'll bet they get thousands of people with that. Yeah, I'm on the Tesla US. So guys, just so you can see, I have the channel. It's ready to go, but it's still 11 minutes and 45 seconds. So they got me with that little bit of scam they were doing. So, like they got me a little bit. So that happens. What's up, Ghost of the Gridiron? Hope no one scanned that code. Yes, please don't scan that code. That's a scam, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, but it's great to see everyone. It's really awesome to see everyone. I have it queued up. Let's see. Yeah, they're still running Tesla ads right now. Like it is. Look, here's the thing. I love Teslas. I rent one anytime I go to California. Hey, thank you for the $1.99, Carson. Trump 2022. Trump. Let me hold on one second. Thank you. Where's it at? Why doesn't it show up? There you go. Thank you, Carson Commando, for the $1.99 super chat. Trump 2024 for our futures. Absolutely, Carson. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You guys get to watch for free. Thank you so much for donating. Thank you so much for the super chats. I really appreciate. Thank you guys for subscribing. Whatever you guys do, I appreciate it. Whether you like the live, whether you subscribe, whether you become a member, whether you donate, whatever you guys do, I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, I appreciate all of that. Are you getting any amalgamation soup today? What the hell is that? There's a space on Trump's X page. I'm good. I'm going to be playing it directly from the Tesla US page. There was some people set up that were running a scam. And that's my bad for showing it. Guys, that's completely on me, just so you know. Dan Goldman embarrassed himself today on Fox. Hey, did you guys see me on Fox? You guys see my interview on Fox News? It was short, but it was fun. I was on America's Newsroom with Bill Hemmer and Dana Perino. Did you guys get to see it? I hope you guys got to see it. I was really happy to be on that. But I hope you guys saw it. I was really excited to be on it. What you mean is that you don't remember when the RNC, when your fiance brought you food, so stuff in a bowl? What? Oh yeah, that stuff she throws in a bowl is delicious. Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's what you call amalgamation soup. My bad. You're absolutely right. Now on X, and it hasn't even started yet. Yeah, it's gonna be insane. I'll go find out. I have all those in my library. Yes, guys, I'm gonna put the video out on TikTok as well. And I'll release it on X because anything I put on TikTok, I put on X. Oh, Bill doesn't want to get married. I love Dana too. And the worst part is Dana was about to compliment me. Right as I was finishing, she goes, Joe Redden, well said. And then she got cut off. And I was like, oh, I was about to be complimented by Dana Perino. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. When it comes to the EU right now, my video about what's happening in the UK got taken down. Community guideline violation. I was like, what the fuck? 4 live streams at once. Well, I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and X right now. After the stream. Yeah, Cody, I'm happy to jump on. Guys, here's the thing. Like, you guys haven't seen me stream much again because, again, when I stream a bunch, then I have to play catch up with my real job. Right. So it just ends up like it's a trade-off, guys. Like I want to do this full time. I want to stream with you guys. I want to talk with you guys. I want to just put out content and do shit like that with you guys. But I have to build the community first because like it's putting a lot at risk if I do that full time. And that's always a concern to me. There's just a lot at risk. if I do that full time. Kenny Webster. I don't know Kenny Webster. I did just do a nice little live with Rob Smith. If you guys know Rob Smith, he's phenomenal. I got to do a live with him. It was great. But we did that on TikTok. There it is. I was looking for my vape pen. I'm like, oh. Was wondering if Harry kidnapped me. Could you imagine him trying? Imagine him coming up and just like trying to grab me. My God, he'd get his ass beat. Oh my God, it'd be wild. You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to interview Harry. I'd love to have, like, I wouldn't want to argue with him. Like, I would tell him, look, I'm going to interview you, and I wouldn't debate his topics. I would just let him come on, and I would ask him questions so we could learn more about why he thinks the way he does. Like, and I wouldn't like fact check him or anything like that. I would just want to interview him. You know, I actually want to hear his thought process on things. Like, not argue with him. I don't want to fight with him on topics. I wouldn't want to bring him on for a debate because me and him would just start yelling at each other. But I would love to have him on for an interview, just to sit down. Let's talk about where you got to where you are, where you see yourself going in the future, why you think the way you do. You know, just a real honest conversation. Oh, I hope. Look, here's the thing. Donald Trump, if you can find a place for me, I have multiple undergrad degrees. I have an MBA in strategy. If you want to find a place for me in the Trump administration, I will come work for you. I will leave all my other shit and come work for you. He suffers from the autism. Oh. Do an interview with Sean Ryan. Who's Sean Ryan, Sherwood? I don't know who that is. No, but that's the thing, Gary, is I wouldn't argue with him. I would just say, look, man, I want to ask you some questions. But guys, here's the thing. I do want to start doing interviews. So if you guys got people or you know people in the space, I would love to interview them. Oh my God. Could you imagine me as the press secretary? Oh, what a dream job to come out and talk to the media every day. Fuck it. Dream job. Absolutely dream job. I would love to do that. What's going on in England is they are losing their culture to the immigrants they're letting come into their country, and the locals aren't cool with it. They're losing what it is to be British. Oh, Australia. Let me just tell you right now, you know, Australia, I thought the most embarrassing thing that would happen to you guys was that break dancer. Like, I thought that was going to be the most embarrassing thing to happen to you this month. But now who's Carl Higbee? Are you talking about Higbee on TikTok? I fucking love him. I would love to interview him. And I think I'm mutuals with him. But Australia, you just let your government pass laws that basically you have a social credit score now. Like Australia, you basically have a social credit score. You just sent me a link. Let me see. I can't click links in the chat, but he's a Newsmax guy. I mean, I'm happy. Look, here's the thing, guys. I would love to interview some people. I want to start doing interviews with people. Yeah, you're fucking that Australian dancer. That Australian dancer is something else. Guys, here's the funny thing. You know the video I made where I challenged Harry to provide me video from the crowd? That video got 4.5 million views, and it's currently down for a community guideline violation. I've appealed it, but we'll see what happens. My money's on they're never going to review the appeal. That video is just going to stay down. So that's crazy. It's currently down. Like, I'll show you guys. Like, look, let me show you. I'll show you right now. Where's it at? See, there it is right there. Wait, can you zoom? My appeal is in. The violation reason, just community guidelines. Nothing in particular, just community guidelines. No actual guideline, just community guidelines. Even though in that video, I didn't claim anything. All I said was, hey, you should interview Professor Suck on D's nuts. Oh my God. Oh, that gives me such a good idea. What if I got somebody to pretend to be Professor Suck on D's nuts and they just got to answer however they wanted? Like, and then we blacked out their silhouette for what is it, for anonymity. What about that? Yeah, range minded. I'm happy to. Look. I don't think I'm an expert at communicating to my audience, but I think it works well. So, but yeah, I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, that video is still down for a guideline violation. Joe Rogan or Musk. Look, here's the thing. That is the ultimate goal. The ultimate, guys. We got 2 minutes till the start of the interview. By the way. But we got two minutes to start the interview. I will tell you what, the getting on Joe Rogan would be the interview of a lifetime. Like I'll tell whatever I gotta pay, whoever I gotta talk to, hand jobs given out to get on Joe Rogan. Let me know. You said 2 minutes to go. Now you got to pee. Trump unfollowed Pence's account. Well, Pence is a fucking pussy, so fuck him. I see it's. I see how I hesitated before I said that because I had to remember which platform I was on because I'm so used to being on TikTok that I was like pussy, I had to be careful. But then I was like, wait, it's YouTube, Twitch, and X. I could say what the fuck I want. Should ask Harris on advice on the hand jobs. Yeah, absolutely. She's the expert on it. Let me see here. Let's see. Is this the official? Hold on, let me see here. Oh, here we go. We got him. You guys ready?
Were quintessentially Trump. What struck me most was the passion and conviction with which he spoke about his vision for America.
Still DEI.
Whether you agree with him or not, it's clear that he has a definite plan for where he wants to take the country if elected again. Now let's break down some of the major topics we covered. During our conversation, Mr. Trump and I touched on several ambitious projects that could reshape America's future. I'd like to share some of these ideas with you. First, we discussed a major overhaul of our nation's infrastructure with a focus on creating a nationwide network of high-speed electric vehicle charging stations. This project would not only boost the adoption of electric vehicles, but also create thousands of jobs across the country. Trump expressed strong interest in this initiative, seeing it as a way to modernize our transportation system.
We'll see.
While stimulating economic growth. We also explored the possibility of a public-private partnership to accelerate our space exploration efforts. The idea is to combine NASA's expertise with private sector innovation to establish a permanent human presence on Mars within the next decade. Trump's enthusiasm for this
you don't think this is it?
Project was palpable, and he sees it as a way to reassert American leadership in space.
You know what? I'm waiting for the actual conversation with Trump because let me see. No, this is at tesla.xcast. What the fuck, guys? There are so many scams. How do we find the real one? Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if we can find. Let me see. We're trying to find it. I'm trying to find them. Well, I don't know. Let me see. See, none of it's working. Something is going on with X right now. See, Donald J. Trump's account. see. None of it is coming up. But it kicks you out when you try to join. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's like here. Let's see here. Let's see. This isn't live either. This isn't live either. God, this is insane. It's the amount of scams that are going on right now. It's insane. Let me see this. Let me see. Live now, Fox. Let me see here. Let's see here. Nope, that's a scam. That's a scam. 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 Every one of them that's on YouTube right now is a scam. Let me, guys, we got to try to find this. Yeah, everyone's having the same issue. They are trying. They're trying to scam everyone right now. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. You're going to send me a link to it? All right. Yeah, they're doing everything they can to not let people access this. This is cyber warfare right now, is what it is. What is your name that you're sending me to it? Somebody's trying to scam it. Yeah, it's like nobody can access this right now. Benny Johnson can't get in. None of us can get in. The Tesla US account, that's not the real Tesla account. That's not the real Tesla account. Like, let me see. Yeah, that's not. There's so many fake Tesla accounts. Let's see. It's sad that like you're on Elon Musk's account and we can't get to it. Nope, nobody can access it. Nobody can access it. What is going on? Check your Cody. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see here real quick. All right, let me see here. Let's take a look and see if it works. I'm trying to bring it up. Nope. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. All right, let me try it on X. Let me just try going directly to it on X. The space is not available. Nope, I can't listen to it. Let me see. Maybe Timcast is on YouTube. Let me see. Let's see here. Let's try that. Nope. This entire thing isn't showing. Nope. None of it is showing. Nobody can listen to it. Nope. None of us can listen to it. I mean, this is fucking stupid. Nobody can watch the live. All right. So sorry, guys. It looks like we're fucked. Looks like we're fucked. Nobody can watch it. Nobody can listen to it. Like, I mean, dude, I've tried on my phone. I've tried on. You're in, but like, no, all I keep getting is this. This space not available. Nope, not available. Nope, none of this works. Yeah, there's a ton of people in the space, but nobody can watch it. There we go. Nope, still can't join. Nope, doesn't work. Yeah, I have no doubt that it's under like a DDoS attack right now. I have no doubt that it is under mass attack right now. Like, I'm going to try. Let's see. And I'm trying to get into this thing. But all it's doing is it's literally freezing my entire X when I try to join. I mean, it's literally. Let's see here. Nope, can't get into any spaces whatsoever. All spaces are shut down right now. It looks like all the spaces are currently shut down. Nobody's spaces are working right now. Thank you, Carson. $20 on MI5 had their hands in this. Agreed. Look, this is what Carson had to say. $20 on MI5 had their hands in this. Look, people had their hands in this, Carson. 100%. The fact that this isn't working. The fact that this isn't working is very obvious. Very obvious. Like, this is, they do not want people to see this. I mean, this is probably the biggest event on X, and none of it is working. Yep, none of this is working. We are all screwed. Donald J. Trump space. Space is not available. Nope. I mean, this is insane. They are doing like, 13 million views, but again, nobody can get into it. It's amazing that they literally, what they're doing is they're having bots overload. They're having bots overload the space. I don't know. I mean, we've tried so hard to get into this and we can't. Donald J. Trump space just freezes. Just freezes anytime I click it. Yep, just freezes anytime I click it. Let's see. Let's see if we can make. Oh, wait, we might have found it. See, it's saying that it's showing music playing. See, this isn't really happening because Donald J. Trump was talking. See, the music one's bullshit. Music one's bullshit. It's literally just getting people to come in. Let's see. Let's see. Nope, they're faking. There's so many accounts faking the interview right now. So many accounts just faking the interview. Let's see. Nope, this is all fake. All this shit is fake right now. Yeah, this is all fake. Yep. It's insane. The entire thing right now. They are faking. Hold on, just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me show you guys what I'm doing. Let me go ahead and bring it up for you guys. Hold on one second. Let me do this. Give me 1 second. Let me do this, and then let me turn that off. Give me 1 second, guys. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So we're here. We're looking for Elon Musk. I mean, let's look at live. So many of the let's look at live. So many of the lives, they're just fake. They're all just fake. Like, let me bring this over to the big screen for you. All right. So if we look, it's like, hold on a second. So like all of these are all fake. Nobody has it for real. Fake, fake, fake. Let's see what these guys are saying.
Something that we do actually have to contend for here in the United States, because there are a lot of forces that are also trying to suppress free speech here. And as one of the few places where free speech at least is constitutionally protected, if not practically.
See, nobody can get into these. Nope. Fake, fake, fake. These guys can't get in either. They can't get in. They can't get in. Nope. No, none of it's working. Oh, wait, let's see here. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me bring. God damn it. All right. None of it's working. Yeah. No. None of these streams are actually real. Space is not available. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. See, Anger Tab, this guy right here, Speak the Truth, he's a real dude. Let's go to his stream.
They're saying it doesn't start for another 30, but
hold on, let's see.
This should not be this large of an issue. Let's see what the people are saying in here. Another media lie, X crashes, saying it's all crashing. Times of India of YouTube says it is live watching. I was on the Times of India one. And that's the one that everybody was telling me was BS.
Yeah, it's fake.
Lucidchart makes intelligent diagramming easy.
But, you know, we'll find out if it actually is, because it was just this crap playing in the background forever. And it very well could be, but I mean, I want to actually try to get it straight from the source so I know you guys aren't getting jacked up. It's good to know that it's starting 30 minutes late. That way we can actually, you know, make all of this happen. We're going to go run over here and see if we can't get in there. I have a feeling that they knew the system was going to live. He just spoke. It is live. Tesla US countdown. So I tried it on the Tesla one. Weird elevator music.
I just told him, don't go to Tesla US. It's fake. No. I mean, none of us can get into this. Nope, you can't click on anything. It just freezes everything when you click on it. Yeah, these are all fake. That's fake. That's fake. This is every space is locked up. Nothing is working. This is insane. Like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, this is so fucking stupid that nobody can get into this. And it's a bunch of scams. Can't get in there. Stay tuned. No, this is bullshit. I mean, it's fucking insane. This is fucking nuts. All right, here we are again. Space not available. see, it's just starts in a few minutes. He said 20 minutes ago. Doesn't work. Let's see. You would think he would do a fucking stress test, but apparently Rawls alerts is saying thousands of people now want former President Trump to return to a social media site after he posted on X. Fuck you guys. See, they said fuck Elon Musk, fuck Trump, fuck those people. Who cares? Who gives a shit what they want? Like, I mean, if I go to Trump's thing, how am I not following him yet, by the way? 88.6 million followers. Jesus Christ. It's 225K on. Why can't we see it? Why can't we see any of it? See, look, Elon Musk, Donald Trump space. This is what happens. See, the screen just goes gray and it doesn't work. The stream just goes gray. It says there's more than 209,000. It says Elon Musk is speaking right now, but nobody can watch it. Nobody can fucking watch it. Like, this is really fucking embarrassing for Elon Musk. Like, this is really fucking embarrassing for him. That he can't. I mean, this is fucking embarrassing, dude. Like, you got to make your own shit work. Like, this is fucking stupid. There's absolutely no fucking reason. Join space. Nope, space is not available. Yeah, there's just a gray overlay. You can't click anything. Then you have to go back to the original. X.com. I mean, this is fucking insane. Trump literally broke X. Like, can we be real about that for a second? Trump literally broke X. Like, so check the Alex Jones live stream. All right. Is he on YouTube? Let's see something. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see. Let's take a look. I don't know that. It's a DDoS attack. That's not surprising. Oh, you're talking about he's on X. All right, let me see. Let me see here. Let's see here.
This was too easy to predict.
Here we go. Here we go.
So, hey, maybe it'll be kind of a troubleshooting thing for X.
Let's take a look at it.
And they can figure out how to make it better in the
Musk
future.
just posted.
I hope this thing ends up getting off sometime tonight. If not, though, you know what? Either way, Trump Musk.
Hey, we got an update from Elon Musk. Elon Musk says there appears to be a massive DDoS attack happening. This is not a failure of X so much as it is actual cyber attack happening, probably backed by people supported by the EU and others who have come out and issued threatening letters today.
No, I mean, I agree with that because I figure Musk had this updated. Yeah, I think that probably is it. So, okay, well, tell us more what he said. Read it to us.
Casey, that's fucking hilarious.
This is a big deal. Because the EU literally, I covered it a little bit today. I should have covered it more. The EU sent a letter saying, we're watching everything you do and to criminally charge you.
So this is what he said.
Oh, by the way, to that British guy, you can suck my dick.
45,000 likes now, said there appears to be a massive DDoS attack on X, working on shutting it down. I assume he's referring to the DDoS attack. He says, worst case, we will proceed with a smaller number of live listeners and post the conversation later. So something is going to happen tonight for sure, but there's definitely a cyber attack happening. And this is an attack on freedom of speech right before our eyes.
This is absolutely.
Well, I want you to tweet at him because he's smarter than I am and say, will you please just put out a video screen of the X spaces because your video system is way more redundant because he's calling it, oh, listeners. No, they're participants. It's why it has more bandwidth because they have all that interface power. I'm not a technician, but I know the fact that a system where each person can interface and has all these controls.
All right, there is some speaking happening in the space right now.
Okay, go to it. Here it is.
Can we hear it?
Well, it looks like it went away. They just did a quick update in the space where they said there was a cyber attack, and now they're back to the hold music. Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, I love this attack. It only makes it bigger.
Yeah, seriously.
We don't. Most people are like, oh God, we're attacked. We're going home. This is what happens in the info war, folks. I mean, you got Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Obviously, millions want to hear it. And I tell you, my gut level, which I said is
he's 100% right.
He probably boosted all the bandwidth, did major updates, but there's an attack on top of it. Because again, like I told you, it came out. Remember when they had to vote about bringing?
They're doing massive attacks on this.
Well, and I think it was the UK government that made that statement, talking about, hey, you better not let Trump speak, or whatever the official statement was.
It was the EU and UK.
Well, Musk did issue a reply earlier today, and to put it short, I don't know what the EU or the UK government thinks it has to say about our speech in America.
And just stop this interview, which will only make it bigger. In fact, I hope they shut it down tonight. When Trump comes on in 3 days, it'll be.
We got to refresh it. It's just, it was not working very well. It was way off. Hold on, wait. It looks like Alex Jones isn't working now. The Alex Jones page isn't working now. His video is down.
25 million viewers when he talked to me for 2.5 hours. And then 25, 40, it was like, I quit counting.
Trump flew I think it was last week, Aiden Ross.
I think they're attacking his.
They ended up getting 50 million views, 24 hours. I don't know where the number is now.
Let me see
the
something.
point is that it can be done. The platforms exist to have it done successfully. And so, to me, that is the foolproof strategy to go with. I'm not Donald Trump. I don't know if he was expecting this.
Look,
I don't know if he's frustrated by this.
He's using this to test his platform. But he just.
I agree.
I that's part of it. But I think he's telling the truth. He just, because we get hit with DDoS every time we have a big interview.
Yeah, well, we had to set up a fail-safe curtain in front of our stuff now.
Well, that's why, you notice I've told you guys, and I don't tell you a lot what to do because hiring is I respect you. You got to do what you want. We agree about 95%. But when I will say, when you got a really big guess, you might not want to announce it right away.
Right.
Because that's when they hit you. Harrison?
No, I'm just, he says, Elon Musk just posted 42 seconds ago, we tested the system with 8 million concurrent listeners earlier today. So he's saying it's not a matter of the number of people joining in. It is the DDoS attack. That was a retweet of
I believe it.
DDoS statement, yeah.
So there you go. Why would the EU and the UK threaten to not do this interview? Think of the arrogance of these people, man. They're telling us we can't hear our president and Elon Musk. I mean, what?
That's what I was wondering. It almost seemed like an act of desperation because they knew Elon Musk wasn't going to go,
all right, I got to verify it's me.
So why would you come out and make a demand that you know is not going to be met? I mean, it's just humiliating for them.
Yeah, this is Cyber Command doing this.
Yeah.
Well, he's been really harsh on what's been going on in the UK for the last couple weeks.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying it on a VPN.
Took that personally.
Give me a second.
By the way, that's a beta test, as you know, for the rest of the world.
Well, it's happening already. There was a story out of Buffalo, New York, and look, it's such a people just
trying to get on with the VPN right
now. Forget about these ancient holy wars or this religion versus that religion, and just look at the end result of what's happened in England.
Frozen, even on a VPN.
Something similar is going to happen in the United States, whether it's illegal migrant gangs and criminal gangs.
I mean, they're just fucking nuts.
Or whether it's a new religion that has a base here. A Muslim group just purchased a cathedral in Buffalo, New York for $250,000. And they're going to turn it into a mosque.
This is fucking nuts.
And so this is
literally they so badly don't want this interview to happen that they're attacking
couldn't raise $250,000 to purchase it and save it, so the Muslims did.
And finally found a space that can stream. Which one?
It's incredible. I don't know why. I mean, the Vatican couldn't step in.
They can't build these today. So let's explain something. Key point that I want to just make.
Yes. X is under attack right now.
This is history happening right now. And they're trying to censor this.
This is
they're
insane.
trying to control this because they're so scared of what you're saying, Owen.
So I just don't want to live in an America that looks like
insane.
The UK or specifically Britain, where the traditional English people are basically shoved aside and told, no, this replacement population now
this
gets
is nuts.
favorite treatment.
And that's the problem of Westerners is we're so individual, which is good. We don't organize. The Muslims do. And it's their religion. They take over everywhere. They push everybody out. It's a fact.
I don't think it'll be Muslims here.
See, and now they're attacking his stream. Nope, space still isn't available. There's a massive cyber attack
And
going.
pervert groups.
And so that's what the way
Pedophile.
Muslim population to
There's a
essentially
massive
assert
cyber
dominance
attack
over
going on
the
right
English
now.
Culture and civilization. That's what was being set up. Now we're finally seeing
Keep trying to
the
get
final
in.
result, and people are shocked because the government's coming out and saying, nope, if you're a white Englishman, sit down, shut up, you're going to prison. If you're an Islamic man, you can go ahead and do whatever the hell you want, attack anybody, take over the civilization. It's fine. We're going to protect you in that endeavor. That's how woke we are. What I see being set up right now
We'll
in the
keep
United
trying.
States is you have all these illegal aliens coming here, and they're immediately being put on entitlement programs and welfare programs. And so what's going to happen here is the day
Oh, it's an
that
attack.
these entitlements run dry,
It is
or
no
the
doubt
day
an
that
attack.
their welfare state gets cut off, they're going to start rioting. They're going to start burning cities. They're going to start destroying our country. And when people try to step up and stop it or call it out, or
They're
say
hurting
anything,
themselves.
you'll be the one that gets arrested. You'll be
Oh,
called
absolutely.
a racist.
I mean, they throw.
They're hurting
xenophobe.
themselves by
What's
doing
really
that.
gotten even me just putting it out like 10 million.
Aiden
posts.
Ross is live
An
on.
update
Is
from
on.
Elon
Let's go.
Musk a
Let's check
minute
out
ago.
Aiden
He
Ross
says,
on
we will
Kick.
proceed with the smaller number of concurrent listeners at 8:30 Eastern time, so that's in 2 minutes from now, and then
See.
post the unedited audio immediately thereafter. So they are solving the problem.
Hold on a second. Let's check
It was
here.
a smart move to cut back to people can get on. That means they'll block the people coming in with the DDoS attack. So let me just throw this out real quick. The point I'm trying to get at here is this is information warfare. And so who do I have in there posting on
That
X?
fucking idiot's
'Cause I see
watching
us with
gambling
millions of
right now.
viewers already tuned into us.
Massive
So I wanna put
DDoS
this
attack.
out on X as another repost of the live feed. You guys got me? I want to put what I'm about to say out. I can do it myself right now on X of the live show feed. I want to put this out right now. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm
Can't get
listening
in.
to you right now.
All right, I want you to retweet this. I want you to post this.
I've
on
been
X.
trying it on the phone.
Elon Trump interview under hack attack.
Mm-hmm. This is
Watch
insane.
censored feed here, which we're about to launch, which we're taking. It's all true. And that'll go super viral because people need to, the average person doesn't know they're being blocked. They don't know why they can get on. They're trying to find out. We got to tell them. We're already telling them what just
This is
happened. So it's not
nuts.
hype. It's real.
This is fucking nuts.
Breaking. Elon Trump interview under hack attack. See censored interview here live.
So
That's that
just so you guys
And you
understand,
see,
a
we're not
DDoS
even
attack. Hold on, wait. Let me
doing it in
shut
the
Alex
future.
up here
It
for a
already
second.
happened, but the
Okay, guys, just so you have an understanding of what a DDoS attack is, it's DDoS means denial of service, right? Or distributed denial of service. That's what the two D's, DDoS, distributed denial of service. It's an attack to disrupt a server by flooding it with traffic. So what happens is they set up a bunch of different accounts, thousands, if not millions of accounts, and they're ready to go because he announced it was going to happen. And what he does is they flood the server with accounts. So it's just a massive. So you got to think if there's 209,000 people in there, what they did was they probably sent 2 million accounts faking like they were trying to join, and they just kept doing it. They kept leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, leaving and coming back, just doing it over and over again to crash the server. Because you have to understand is that anything that's done on this is built like under a server, right? You say try now, it's working. All right, let's try it. I'm willing to try it, guys. I will keep trying. Let's see. Let's go to Elon's. All right, there we go. All right, they're playing music right now. This is on Donald Trump's actual account. Let me bring this up. Here we go. Okay, it looks like we may have got on. All right, so it looks like we might be on. We'll see if this works. It looks like we're in, and I went to it from the actual Donald Trump the actual Donald Trump. All right, so it looks like we're in. All right, it says we're in. So hopefully we're in. You're in. Do you, Spider-Man, do you hear them talking or do you hear the music? Guys, let me know when you're in. Do you hear the music or do you hear them talking? You guys hear music too. Do you guys hear the music too, right? You guys hear the music on my stream? Okay, just music. So we're in. Okay, just music. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. All right, cool. It's just music, so we're in. Oh, the music stopped. Wait, Elon left. Come on, Don. Speak up, buddy. Are you guys with me? The music just cut off? Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, music stopped. So Trump just muted himself, but Elon left. But the live's still going. I mean, this is fucking nuts. The fact that the amount of attacks they're launching on this because they don't want this interview to happen. Yeah, this is insane. Let me see. Let's see what they're saying over there on Alex Jones. He's still just talking. He's making jokes and shit. 800. Yeah, it's just. But Trump. No. The only talker is muted right now. Like, this is his official account. Tell you, I love your content. Just stumbled across you. Thank you, M. Hill. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Guys, if you want to support me, if you want to help me do this full time, please subscribe to me on YouTube. It's the best way to help me do this full time, because if I can get a good base of subscribers on YouTube, I can quit my normal job. I can stream all day. I can just do this stuff full time, which is what I want to do. You say load up space. Now I'm afraid to lead the space. It's dead silence right now. The only talker is muted. But guys, if you want to support me, please subscribe on YouTube. It's the best way. Like, it's the best way to support me and help me do this. They won't let me do X subscription because they won't validate me that I'm 18. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. They said once you get in to stay there. Yeah, that's why I don't want to leave because I'm in now. Let me see. Let's see what we got here. You subscribe? Thank you so much. I can't. It should show me when you do. It hasn't popped up yet. Thank you, Rich. But guys, that's the best way to allow me to do this full time. If I can get a good amount of subscribers on YouTube, I can just say fuck my job and do this shit full time, which is what I want to do. Or you can buy my book when it comes out in like 3 weeks. No, you can't hear anything. There's no noise from it right now. So right now we're waiting. So the space is still open. We're waiting. Right now everybody's muted. Am I over 18? Yes, I'm definitely over 18. Yeah, Elon left. Elon's not in there right now, but he's probably taking care of some shit right now. Like, let's be real. Elon's probably handling some shit now. Thank you, Dace. Elon's back in. Come on. Somebody start fucking talking. Come on. Let's let this interview happen. I will forever throw Harry under the bus. Yep. So he's back. He's firing everyone. You're absolutely right. I bet he's firing. I bet he just fired fucking 30% of the people that work at X right now. Let's see what's Alex Jones got going on. All right, so we're in the space, but let's go over and hear what Alex Jones is saying.
It's such a perfect fraud.
But the lemmings stand behind her and cheer and clap.
Thank you, Phantom Rider. You are my hero. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys subscribing. Guys, that's the best way you can support me.
And the political science, when it
best way you can support me.
We've really kind of gone off pasture in a lot of ways.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't mean just
the best way you can support me. I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much.
No, I hear you.
Like, these people shouldn't vote.
Like, if you guys subscribe, like, if you guys subscribe,
voting rights, bro.
Let's see, hold on. But that's the thing, guys. Here's the thing: you can subscribe, you can join. Like, that's the thing, guys. I think my join is as low as it goes. I think it's like $4.99. If I can get that, then I'm good. It's silent. Yeah, I just went back to check. That's all, guys. I just don't want to miss anything if they start talking. Would you guys rather have this waiting for them to do it, or would you rather have me? My book, it's fiction, it's fun, it's good. Yeah, if you jump on YouTube, you can subscribe or you can join the team. If you join the team, you're financially supporting me. You don't have to. You can just subscribe. But if you join the team, you financially support me. And then I can, if I have enough of those, I can just do this full time. But again, it's because now I'm, what did they say? What is it? Now I'm monetized on YouTube. So they're going to put ads on my shit. And I'm sorry, but guys, like, this is how I can make it, make it full time. My Discord, just find the link. It's in my TikTok. No, the Tesla one starting in 14 minutes. That shit is not true. All right, so let's see. Let's see what we got over here. We'll go over to, what the fuck is Elon? Oh my God. I don't know what InfoWars say. So wait, do you guys want to wait for this to start? Or do you want to go over to Alex Jones and see what the fuck he's saying? A preview of the book? Sure. I'll do a live where I give you guys a preview of the book. I'll give you the preview of the book now. No. Elon is speaking? No, he's not. It's open. No, he's still muted. Elon's still muted.
All right, hello everyone. My apologies for the late start. We're unfortunately,
can you guys hear him?
Massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like, basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say.
Good.
And But I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way.
Make it
And
louder.
when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. And this is really aimed at kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind. Uh, and so you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation. So um, honored to Donald, great to speak.
Can you guys
We had
hear him
a
talk
great
right now?
conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And
Yeah.
so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying,
No.
fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, I mean, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire, and so that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having another term here. Is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant, I have to be honest.
Pleasant.
I said there was blood. I had
Being
more
shot is
blood.
not much fun.
I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place if you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even think about, because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very.
You're right, CG.
I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody you have instances like this, or like a lot less than this, where you feel it's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear,
Yeah.
and because it hit very hard, but hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, "Bullets, bullets!" Get down, because I
Thank you
I
for the
moved
super
down pretty
chat.
nicely, pretty quickly, and
Thank
we
you.
had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those
Split
people that
second.
don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle, and all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more
Maybe
now
it's a
that I
sign.
open it.
Maybe that's a sign.
Maybe I should
An
request to
immigration
speak.
sign.
You highlighted a serious issue, and
Yeah,
at that moment,
that's right.
the bullet missed your hit your ear, but missed your head. I mean,
Well, the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration, and it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good, and after that it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey,
Yeah.
who, a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great trumper. He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, "I'd like to give the family some kind of help." And I said, "All right, that's great." He said, "Do you mind?" I said, "I don't mind at all." And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And,
Check for $1
he
million.
said, "This is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back," which is
Yeah.
a nice thing for
Sure.
somebody to say, to be honest. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of
Yeah.
money for them and for two other gentlemen are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were incredible. They saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them equally. And we thought
Yeah.
my first question was because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, "How many people were killed?" Because we had a massive crowd
You're right,
there,
Joey.
a tremendous
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of people, and there was no land. I mean, it was all people.
Thank you,
So I
Trump.
said, "How many people have been killed?" Because I knew there were other shots being fired,
Sure.
and they said,
I
"We
imagine
don't
a
know
lot.
yet, but some people have been badly hurt." And I have to give the Secret Service
Oh, damn. Sorry to hear
sniper,
that.
they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper,
Yeah.
because he didn't know there was a problem.
Happy to do it.
He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was
Yeah.
able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one
Just a little
bullet
bit.
from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the
Yeah.
he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium, and he saw
Mhm.
the smoke and the flame from the gun, immediately recognized it, and immediately
You're
took a
right.
shot. And it was one perfect shot from very far away. And if he didn't do
Yeah.
that, Elon, he would have. I mean, if he would have, a lot of people, a lot more people could have
Sure.
been badly hurt and killed. So
Yeah.
I have to
Absolutely.
take my hat off to him because that's also a surreal. He's been with them for 23 years, and
Yeah.
he's never had anything like this. And all of a sudden, he has to act, and it's a very tough thing to
Sure.
act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun, very far away. I obviously has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have
Yeah.
to have in that particular work. But he took
Absolutely.
aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds from long range,
Yeah.
one bullet. If that didn't happen,
Yeah.
because the shooter had a lot of bullets, he had a lot of cartridges up
Sure.
there with him, so could
Well,
have been very.
that's clearly he was very competent
We
in
don't know
taking
that
that
yet.
shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be, I mean, some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy.
Happy
I
to
think
help,
most people like
James.
people are wondering how on earth could such a thing happen?
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people,
Yeah.
because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one woman with a red shirt and
Right.
Trump all over
I
it,
saw
and
the videos.
she's screaming, "That guy's got a gun!" You saw it probably. There's
Yeah.
a
No, I
guy
saw
up
the
there
videos.
with a
I
gun.
mean, it's like I guess, I mean, for my part, and I think probably many members of the public are wondering how the heck are, you know, basically people wondering by it, pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun,
Yeah,
and they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem
yeah.
crazy.
Well, they're going to learn from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because he was pulling himself up, and
Yeah.
he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot, but he was like pulling himself up, and because of that, he couldn't get to his gun, and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly,
Okay.
but he fell down. And he did, you know, from what I understand, he did say there's a guy up there with a gun, and the shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced the shooter to go maybe quicker. You know, you're supposed to be a very good shot.
Yeah.
My sons, Don and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf,
Yeah.
sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah. It's not a tough
No,
shot.
it's not a long shot. The Secret Service person had the long shot. He had triple the
Yeah.
distance actually. So it was a terrible
I
thing.
agree with you,
Look,
range-minded. We can't memory
in
hold that he was
part,
just
I
shot
have
in
to
the
say this
fucking
about the
head.
Secret Service. When I went down, and I went down based on I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd
Yeah.
control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of
Yeah.
people get killed with those stampedes. We had
Sure.
more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down. And it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler, as far as the eye could see, and
Yeah.
and a lot of press too. There were many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different, because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it, so sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede.
Sure.
Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like, I mean, I'll tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people because
Sure.
it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down, but the Secret Service
Yeah.
guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing.
Yeah.
And these guys came jumping on top of me, and a young lady, Kate, would jump. They moved so fast, and let me tell you, that took tremendous courage. Now there was a lack of coordination. There was, obviously everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered, and
Yeah. I mean,
that was
I
the
think
big
that
thing.
I mean, looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick like what is the favorite, what if you so if the goal is to assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building, the
You're
roof of
right.
that building would be #1.
That would have been the spot.
It's like you can ask for a better
No,
location. It's like
no,
#1.
that would.
I mean,
That was the
I think
big
that
thing.
I mean, looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the #1 spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick like what is the favorite, what if you so if the goal is to assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building, the
You're
roof of
right.
that building would be #1.
That
What's
would have
going
been the
on here?
spot.
It's like you can ask for a better
No.
location.
People think
Yeah.
is when the local policeman, who by the way, he really he did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer. And then when he got
Yeah.
his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head.
What is
And
going on here?
when he fell down, again, hurt his
There we
ankle
go.
very badly, but he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they
Yeah.
think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun. He ran to the site and he started shooting fast, and maybe that's why he sort of missed. I mean, he
Yeah. But
he
as you
got
said,
me, but
you
it
would have
could have
hit.
been
I mean,
a much
yeah.
bigger problem.
But he totally would have hit if you hadn't turned your head. So like there was it was a very near thing.
It was a
So,
miracle. If I hadn't turned my head,
yeah.
I would not be talking to you right now. As much as I like you,
Exactly.
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not be talking to you.
Maybe talking to
Folks,
from
let me
another
tell you
realm,
something.
Yeah, that's right. We'd be talking.
News
so much.
update here. This is definitely a DDoS attack. Many of the video streams, overhead shot please for TV viewers, many of the video streams on X are dead or being taken down. So it's not just overhead shot right here, guys. It's not just the spaces are taking down. Broadcast not available. We checked on a bunch of phones and computers. A lot of the feeds are down. They have the capacity for billions of viewers. So this is definitely a shutdown. And the EU threatened to shut them down. They are so upset, guys. A quick comment before we go back to this.
Yeah, I would say probably the DDoS attacks, and then
I don't want to hear Alex Jones.
I think a lot of people admire your courage under fire there.
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah. So
thank you very much. I appreciate it. I didn't think of it. I just wanted to get up, and I wanted to stand up. I was trying to, I felt I was good when they were
InfoWars was showing it. I don't want to hear fucking Alex Jones talking
me and very bravely. But
it's like
I wanted to
I
get
thought
up.
I could watch him with his video graphics, but he won't shut the fuck up.
They have everything there. They wanted stretcher. I didn't like the stretcher, and I knew I was hit in the ear, but I knew I wasn't hit anywhere else. They felt I was hit someplace else because it was such a lot of blood, and they were sure that I was hit someplace else. And they were saying, "Sir, you were hit in more than the ear." I said, "Nope, I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up." And so I got up, and the crowd didn't know what to think. I mean, this was so many people, and you could see they were confused. They didn't know what to think. And I wanted to let them know I was okay.
Yeah, sorry. I thought it would be better for the graphics.
And they went wild.
He wouldn't shut the fuck up.
They didn't go wild when I got
up.
up because
Wants to
they
hear
didn't
Alex
know,
Jones right now.
Was I alive? You really couldn't tell. When I stood up before the hand, before the
he wants to make it about
fist
him
in the air.
And I don't have time for that.
They didn't know if I was alive. Nobody did. And when I put the fist up, they were just relieved and happy and thrilled, and the place went crazy. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It was a terrible thing, but it was
incredibly moving. Yeah. Well, and I mean, speaking of the sort of slide that got you to turn that saved your life, really, was the illegal immigration slide. Maybe this, maybe this is worth talking about that.
It was
that slide saved your life.
No, the illegal immigration saved my life. You're right, but it was, and I had to be at that exact angle.
I mean, that's a great one. saved by illegal immigration.
You know, the incredible thing, though,
immigration saved my life.
The odds, you had to be exactly at that angle, but the incredible thing is that the chart, I used it less than 20% of the time. It was just a moment.
Yeah.
It's always on my left, never my right, and it's always at the end of the speech. So here we have it. It's on the right, not the left. It's at the beginning, not the end. And even the people that put it up, they were unprepared, and they did a great job. They got it up immediately, fortunately. But I looked to the right, and the bullet came whizzing by, hitting my ear. So it was amazing. But when you think of the odds of that, and you know that normally you wouldn't use it. Normally I wouldn't have the thing, and then it would have been a very different story. It's very much, I say, an act of God. It's a miracle that it happened, and I'm honored by it. I'm honored by it.
Well, what were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were rudely interrupted?
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler, and we're going to go back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler, and I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying, prior to being so horribly interrupted, but
so rudely interrupted by an assassination attempt.
But the chart.
Some people have no manners.
Elon, the chart was just a chart.
I'm not going to boot everyone who doesn't
we
send
had
me
the
a
best,
super chat.
Illegal immigration numbers, meaning stopping. It was at the lowest. You've seen the chart. It's become quite a famous chart. But that was the lowest point ever recorded. It was a really, I mean, I was very proud of those numbers. And then you see what happened with these people.
You're right,
Kamala and Joe. you see what happened. They just let it go. I had remain in Mexico policies. I had all these different policies that was so good.
Elon is
Guys like
awkward.
Tom Holman and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. All these are all people that they've been on television. They says the best numbers we've ever had. We had so many different checks, catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release in the United States. We had it in Mexico. We had
Betty
so many
Johnson
things.
and
We had
Alex Jones are a lot
things
bigger than
where
me.
if people, many people come in there,
Look,
they
I'm
have
proud. I got
contagious
9,000
diseases.
people on here.
We had everything
I'm proud
passed.
of that.
If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we were setting
Yeah.
literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes,
Sure.
and in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that, but they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always. I'll be sleeping with that chart. That chart was very important for a lot of reasons.
Well, I mean, would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration?
100%, Owen.
But we also need to shut down illegal immigration, and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because that's not
Thank
the
you.
same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't
You
tell a
can't
difference
cast on
unless there's
TikTok.
a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately
100%.
represent your position?
I say it
Okay.
very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked.
Yeah.
I
Because
wonder if I
look,
put it on TikTok, will they be
Kamala
able
was
to
the
hear
border
it?
czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's
Yeah.
saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12
Yeah.
million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many
Yeah.
coming from jails, from prisons, from mental
Did you guys hear this
institutions,
on
or
TikTok?
a bigger version of that is
Yeah.
insane asylums, and many are terrorists. And I'll tell you
Let me
what,
know if you
they're
guys can
coming
hear it.
not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Asia, they're
Yeah.
coming from the Middle East, they're coming from countries that are uh, stupidly and horribly bombing Israel October 7th. They're coming from all over
Good
the
shit.
world. And you look at, it's so sad October 7th because it should have never happened.
Yeah.
It's so sad when
Sure.
you look at Ukraine. It should have never happened. We have a defective
Yeah.
government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5 months that they can do something, but they
Yeah.
won't do
I want
anything.
them to get
It's
to
all
more
talk. She's
substantive stuff.
incompetent and he's incompetent.
Like, just to be
And
real,
frankly,
guys,
I think that
they need
she's
to get
more
to more
incompetent than he
substantive
is.
stuff.
And that's saying something
Like,
because he's
let's
not
get
too
to some
good.
stuff. Don't make
Yeah. No,
this interview about talking what
it is
happened.
essential to
Like, let's
have a
talk about
secure
some
border.
actual shit.
I mean, you're really not a country
Don't ruin
unless you have a
Correct.
secure border. And
And
uh,
secure elections,
you
too.
know, yeah, absolutely secure elections. And so it's just essential to have a real border, or we can't function as a country, and our central services are being overwhelmed in a lot of cities.
Yeah, like, we got to get to some
And
shit.
as we were talking about earlier, I think having a legal immigration process that is smooth and efficient and done well, and speaking as someone who is a legal immigrant, and I think I mean, like, one way to think of it is, who do you want on your team? Who do you want on Team America? and I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are gonna,
There we go. We're getting
be
the immigration
great
now.
contributors
There we
to
go.
our society and to our economy,
Right.
and and who do you want on the team? And it's not to say that, like in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking people. That's my opinion. But some are not, and you just have this sort of
I don't know how
adverse
long we're
selection
going, Scott.
process where, if somebody's, if
You
somebody's
guys
like
on TikTok can hear the interview, right?
uh, has a career in theft or robbery, I don't understand what's taken them so long to get here, because we're in such a target-rich environment. Um, I mean, why aren't more people who have a career in, bad things coming here sooner? Because it's a piece of cake to go rob, houses in LA or New York, compared to other parts of the world. And in a lot of places in America, if you try to stop the person who's robbing you, you'll be arrested.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
So
Elon is such a
It's
genius,
right. I
but
mean, what's happening with
fuck, he's a
crime,
terrible
and our
interviewer.
police are so good, but they're not allowed to do their
He is a
job.
terrible
But I have to
interviewer.
tell you, Elon, I
they're
hate
not.
to say it because it's such a downer to say it. I hate to say it. I hate it, but you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're
I
allowing,
think you're
again,
right.
they're
Yeah.
allowing people from their jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers, they're taking, frankly, their prisoners, they're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and they're
Yeah.
delivering them into
But
the.
that's what Castro did.
Yeah,
That
well, he did
he,
on a
he
much smaller scale.
yeah,
It was a much smaller
yeah,
scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over the world is down. And wait till you see the numbers that we have. This is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be.
yeah,
And I saw it today in New York where somebody was knifed, where they raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters, and started
sure,
pulling out the knives, and bad things happen today. But this is happening every day. These are rough people. These are people that are in jail for
yeah,
murder and all sorts of things,
Yep.
and they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to
He's
give you the death
100%
penalty
right.
or kill you. So they don't want to come back.
He's
But
saying
these
the
are
truth.
rough people.
yeah,
These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people, and it's horrible what they're doing. And she's in charge of it because now she's trying to say she
sure,
had nothing to do with it, and she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the
Yeah.
headlines of every newspaper.
Like,
She's
let's
the
stop
border czar,
playing. She was
and
the
she
border
never even
czar.
went there. She went to one location which had nothing to do with where the problem is. She went in and out, I
right,
guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure,
yeah,
but
yeah,
had nothing to do with the problem
yeah.
is. But she was
Well,
the border czar, and the people
yeah, yeah,
can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. She could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known
yeah.
what happened. You could shut the
I
border
just got
down; he wouldn't
reported
even
for
know the difference.
misinformation on
But
TikTok.
the fact is that she was border czar. But if you don't have to call her
Yes.
that, the fact is you could just call her. She was in charge of the border, and the border was the worst
Right.
ever.
It's simply not working.
No, it's horrible.
Whether it's a question of intention or
I just got a
competence,
live
either way,
violation on YouTube,
we
on
don't have a
TikTok,
secure border, and
just
we
for
have
fucking
people
listening to
streaming over like it looks like
just for listening to
World
the
War Z
interview.
zombie apocalypse at times. And sometimes
That's
you got to
unreal.
sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So
Unbelievable.
because you see
This
things,
is how
is it real?
TikTok is
I
bullshit.
went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas, and I was like, okay, it's real. I'm like seeing this in real time. I actually posted
You
the
were just
video like just
listening to the
live.
interview.
I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this
What
made
the
up or
fuck?
real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border, and I have to say, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly. So
These are
people
people.
can look
No,
at
they
my
said
video and say, hey,
Yeah.
misinformation.
these people look
They said
friendly. They don't look super
misinformation on
friendly.
TikTok.
So
These are
I
people that
didn't
um,
say a
Elon would
word.
not be the same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across. And I know rough people. And these are people that we don't want in our country. And, you know, the caravans are coming in and they're putting, and who's doing this are the heads of the countries. And you would be doing
Yeah.
it, and so would I. And everyone would say, oh, what a terrible thing to say. The fact is, it's brilliant for them because they're
This is
taking all of
insane.
their bad people, really bad people. And I hate to say this, the reason the numbers are much bigger than you would think is they're also taking their non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them, but these are people that are
It's fucking
non-productive.
insane.
They are just not productive. I mean, for whatever reason, they're not
Yeah. Yeah.
workers or they don't want to work or whatever. And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases. And they're also getting rid of their murderers and their drug dealers and the people that are
Yeah.
really brutal people. And they're coming into our country
Yeah.
at levels that have never been seen before. And I saw an ad just before I got on the air. I'm walking over here, and I saw an ad by Kamala saying how she is going to provide border security. Where has she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years,
Yeah. No. No.
we have 20 million people
This I
poured
think is.
in. It's a terrible
Yeah. I
thing.
think this. Frankly, I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States.
Such
And
bullshit.
if we have another 4 more years
I didn't even say anything.
of open borders, and it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years, it's going to be even worse than it's been for the past,
Unreal.
3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country
You don't
left
have a country
at that
left.
point.
Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America
By the way,
only. You know, we
TikTok,
think
I'm
of
going to be
South
making a video
America, we
about
think
that.
of
Of the
Honduras,
fact I
El
didn't say a
Salvador,
fucking word.
Guatemala,
He took down the biggest
and
interview
Mexico.
of
You
the
know,
year.
the four. But it's not
My
that,
appeal
it's
wasn't approved.
everywhere. They're coming in from
Yeah,
everywhere. And I had to stay in
yeah. I
Mexico.
think
I'm
this is
banned until the
a super
19th
important
Yeah.
point. Like people, it's like
because I played
when I
the
went down there, I
interview.
was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico. To
No,
be clear,
Mexico,
Unbelievable.
less
it's
than
just the
the others.
border. It's just the border with Mexico, but the people coming in, it's Earth, the rest of Earth,
Unbelievable.
and America is only about 4 or 5% of the population of Earth. It would only take a few
It's
percent of the
unreal.
rest of Earth to overwhelm everything in the
We're
U.S.
already
So
overwhelmed, Elon. We're overwhelmed.
Unbelievable.
You had to see the news tonight about New York. New York, and I love that place. And what they're doing to it is horrible. What they're doing to it,
I'll be
and all
right
the
back.
courts do is they
yeah,
try and focus on Trump. Okay, then let's focus on Trump, who did nothing wrong. I complain about a rigged election. Elon, what's happened is unbelievable. You have from Africa. From the Congo, they're coming from the Congo, and 22 people came in from the Congo recently, and they're murderers, and they're dropped. They drop them. They take them out of jails, which is very expensive, you know, to maintain the jails. Although they don't do too much maintaining, I can tell you. But they take them out of jails, prisons. They take them out, and they bring them to the United States. They deposit them in the United States and say, "Don't ever come back, or you're going to be executed." And they don't want to come back, but they won't come back.
sure.
But they're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia. They're coming from the Middle East. They're coming from South
Well,
America.
just
They're
Earth,
coming from
rest of Earth,
everywhere.
basically.
And there are a lot of
Yeah,
really
everywhere on
bad
Earth.
ones.
It's just an everywhere on Earth thing, and it's just not possible for the United States to absorb everyone from Earth, or even a few percent of the rest of Earth. It's just not possible.
Well,
So
Elon, we're going to have
that's
just to
yeah.
finish this up. We're going to have the largest deportation in history of this country, and we have no choice. Otherwise, we're going to have a country. What they've done to our country. Think of it, with in Venezuela and in some of these other countries, crime is down 50, 60, 70, 80%. And you would be the same. You would have.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
tell you what, Venezuela has not gotten rid of all of them. They've gotten rid of about 70% of their really bad people. Their jails are about 50% put into the United States. Same with other countries. Some
sure.
are 30%, some are at 50%. They're all different. But the bottom
I
line is
cannot
they're all
believe
going to
they
be at
just took down that
100%.
live
Why wouldn't you
stream.
put
I
100%
didn't
to
say
them?
a
Yeah,
And
word
they're
on it. It was
doing it
just
right
playing the
now
interview.
while this third-rate
This is
phony
insane.
candidate. Don't forget, I beat Biden.
Like, this is the
He
most
failed in the
obvious
debate
case of
miserably.
suppressing free
And,
speech.
some people said, oh, gee, it's too bad. It's too bad he did so
It's
badly, or
unreal.
I did well in the debate. The first night they said, wow, one of the people at CNN said that was the greatest debate performance I've ever witnessed. And then 2 days later, they didn't talk about that. They just said he was bad. But that's okay. That's the way I get treated, and I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different. Look,
Yeah.
she hasn't done an
I mean,
interview since this
yeah.
whole scam started.
Well,
And say what you want. This
yeah.
was a coup. This was a coup of a president of the United States. He didn't want to leave, and they said we can do it the nice
Yeah.
way or we can do it the
No.
hard way.
Yeah. No, I mean, they just took him out back behind the shed and basically shot him.
Oh, what they did
Biden.
with this guy,
So
and I'm no
yeah.
fan of his, and he was a horrible president, the worst president in history. And one of the reasons he was so bad, first of all, the Israeli attack would have never happened. Russia would never have attacked Ukraine, and we'd have no inflation. And we wouldn't have had the Afghanistan mess, if you think of it.
Well,
And we wouldn't have had
yeah.
Afghanistan. But we think of
Well,
it,
yeah.
you take a few of those events away, and we have a different world. We would also have
No, no, you're. Yeah.
inflation was caused by oil.
Yeah, no. I think you're making an excellent point here, which is that when other countries can, that are, are thinking about invading or doing bad things, when they're thinking about that, they're thinking about, okay, what's the American president going to do, and do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would. They rightfully be. I mean, look at that the footage of the assassination. They're like, okay, uh, President Trump is like, don't mess with me. I mean, that's like, whereas I think people are not going to be, and they obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context of global security. That if the American president is someone that, like, evil dictators are scared of, that makes a huge difference to the security of the world.
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too. They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye. But I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world going all over Europe. I shut it down. Biden came, and then they say,
Yeah.
I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that to
Yeah.
fund, and this pathetic president gets in there, and the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people, pipeline workers, shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow.
Yeah.
I allowed it in my first week because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire or a train that catches on fire.
Now they
But
won't let
think
me
of it.
submit my
He shut
appeal.
down the
It's
XL
frozen when I try
pipeline,
to submit my
the
appeal.
Keystone XL pipeline.
Yeah.
He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline,
Yeah, it doesn't make any
right?
sense. It's inconsistent. Certainly but I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing to listeners the immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security, because there's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to
I
do.
know every one of
And
them.
it puts the whole
Yep.
world in danger.
Elon, I know every one
It's
of
a
them,
big
and I know
deal.
them well. I know
Yeah.
Putin. I know President Xi. I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people will say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. and they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. You know, when I was there, and I say it with respect because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass. They didn't buy oil. Other countries, likewise. You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And they were at a point where they had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these instruments of terror. And it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil, but they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way. And you know, it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. You know, getting along well with them is a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When I met with President Obama just before entering, you know, it's a sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea.
Unfucking believable.
I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, you know, all the different things. But all of a sudden I got a call.
Those were some epic tweets, by the way.
Yeah, they
Those
were,
like,
they were
absolutely...
epic everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger and my red button works. And then I called him Little Rocket Man, of Little Rocket Man. Anyway, here's the bottom line. All of a sudden I got a call from him and they said they want to meet. They want to meet me. And we met, as you remember, we met in Singapore. We met also in Vietnam. And I got along with them great. We were in no danger. But President Obama thought we were going to end up in a war, a nuclear war with him. And let me tell you, he's got a lot of nuclear stuff, too.
Exactly.
He's got plenty of nuclear.
You guys still hear it
He
just
can do
fine, or
plenty of damage.
did it mute?
So,
Yes, I mean, it's because,
guys.
you know, I mean, people like
Let me know if you can hear it
you know,
just
Kim
fine.
Jong-un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
well,
And
he and I got it.
if you
He and I
project
had a good
strength,
relationship.
you know, you're good.
Remember,
You can hear it just
remember
fine?
I met him and we walked
Good,
onto his land.
good.
Nobody
Just
ever
wanted to check
walked
and
up
make
to his
sure.
land before.
Just give me
I
1
walked
minute. I'll be
into- I
right
wouldn't
back.
say, let's bring
That was
up
cool.
Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that. I walked onto his land, and it was an amazing period. But we were not in danger with him because of me. You know, I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are and controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we forced Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, forced Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, you know, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear, which is the biggest threat. You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property, right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming. because we have 5 countries
Well,
now that
yeah,
have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. You know, Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that war would have been, that war had zero chance of happening if I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything
yeah,
the opposite. Everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disaster.
sure,
Hey, look, just in the 2 armies, you lost 500,000 people. And
yeah.
you know, Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story, but if you think about it, Russia's gone. You know, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. You know, they've been around a long time. They're a big fighting
yeah,
force,
sure, of
and it's
course.
very unfair. And Ukraine now doesn't have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight, and we're in a very bad position. And I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a
Yeah,
man that actually made it. It made it more prevalent. It was so bad. The words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from a stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you,
yeah,
it can
yeah,
lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East can lead to. We have numerous places that could end up in a
yeah.
World War III right now for no reason
No,
whatsoever.
I think you're right. I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just when you're looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over for humanity, and it's something that people have, I think, after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they actually have forgotten that there are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from other
100%.
countries.
And one of the things
And
we're going to do is
it's
we're going to
yeah,
build an iron dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have the best iron dome in the world. We need it, and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an iron dome? Israel has one. Some other places
yeah,
have one that nobody even knows about, frankly. But Israel has it. We're going to have an iron dome. But with all of that being said, to me that's so important, the most important. But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they
absolutely, sure.
can't buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this stupid administration allowed this to happen. And it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot. And we discuss the border at great length. It's nice to have a
Yeah, yeah.
forum like this where I can discuss something at length. And by the way, you think Biden could do this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass on
No, they
you.
could not.
So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does this for a living can't answer a question or is afraid to do an interview. And in her case, with a very friendly interview, she's got all friendly interviewers. It's pretty sad.
Yes,
But the
absolutely.
big thing now is the
Well,
economy, Elon.
yeah,
And as much as
yeah,
I mean, I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't understand that. But it doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all you need. Because if I was president, you're not going to have that kind of a problem. But the thing that they really is making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster. with inflation. The inflation, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what you make. The inflation is eating you alive. If you're a worker or if you're just a middle income person, you can't afford. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using
Yeah.
all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing
Right.
that's happening, and we'll end that
Well, I think
quickly.
a lot of yeah, a lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the checks never bounce when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply, and if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services,
That's right.
that's inflation. So really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not
Right.
sensible? And we need to live within our means. We're currently adding, I think, $1 trillion to the deficit roughly
Right.
every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceeded the defense budget. It's on the order of $1 trillion,
It's interest.
and it keeps
Yeah, I
growing.
rebuilt our military, largely rebuilt our military, did a great job on it, which was so important. We had jets, we had fighters that were, and bombers that were 70 years old. And we did a great job in that. Then by the way, we gave 85 billion of it back to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. We gave them 85 billion. They're one of the largest sellers
Yeah,
of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. That was one of the most embarrassing days in the history of our country. But if you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy
yeah,
prices down. Energy started at the price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you have a good, and you do make a great product. I have to say, I have to be honest with you.
thank
That
you.
doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the
Thank you.
gasoline, Elon, is the cost of energy. Not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That has
Sure.
to come down. It's gone up 100%, 150, and 200%, and that has to come down. When that comes down, and we're going to
Yeah,
drill, baby, drill. They stopped drilling, and then they went back to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable, wind and different things. You're not going to have anything.
yeah,
And I know you're a big fan of the AI, and I have to say
yeah,
that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So you're going to have to build. We're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI. You're going
sure.
to need a lot of
Well, I mean,
electricity. You're going to need tremendous
yeah,
electricity, like almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
sure. Well, just going, back to this, like this basic thing, which that people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation is caused by government
Right.
overspending. Would you agree that we need to take a look at government
Yes.
spending and have perhaps a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible and so the country lives within its means, just like a
The
person does?
waste is incredible, and nobody
It
negotiates
is.
prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I mean, I went through it like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general walks in, sir, would you please sign this document? And what is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing, which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was
Yeah.
$5.7 billion for two planes. Now they're
Wow.
highly sophisticated.
That's
They're
insane.
even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's
Sure.
5.7.
That's a crazy
It's a
number.
crazy number, but I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over a course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. but for the exact same plane. I saved one, and I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that.
Sorry, guys.
But
I had
now
to
what
make a
I do
TikTok
hear is
video
that
about
they're
that and
going
call out
back
TikTok
to
Live
the
for that.
Biden administration
That was
and
some
wanting big
bullshit.
cost overruns, because they see these dopey suckers in there, and they'll end up getting some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane.
Unbelievable.
And you can now take that and multiply that out times thousands of other
Exactly.
items.
Multiply it
Yeah,
by a
the
zillion,
numbers are
and yeah.
astronomical. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. I'd be happy to help out on such a commission
I'd love
if
it.
it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk
Sorry,
into
I had
these
to record a
businesses.
TikTok about
You
that.
want to quit? They go on
Yeah.
strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, "That's okay. You're all gone. You're
Yeah,
all
I
gone."
saw
So
there was like
every one of you is
20,000
gone, and
people
you are the
watching. It got
greatest. You
taken
would be
down.
very good.
And I
Oh,
wasn't
you
mad
would
that it
love
got
it.
taken down
But
because I figured
if you
people
look
would
at
mass
Argentina,
support it.
Well, I'd be
Then
happy
I
to help
by the
lost
way,
out.
the appeal.
congratulations. I
Yeah.
just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I
That's
chat.
insane.
We'll call it a chat. But
Yeah.
congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. And you're an interesting character. The new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big,
Malay's awesome.
he's great. And
Yeah.
he's a big MAGA fan, that he ran on MAGA. And he took it to an extreme too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats.
Now
He
the
brought
video
others,
isn't
but
loading.
he's doing a big job. He
Video
really
has been
cut.
stuck at
And
81%
I'm
loading this
hearing
whole
they're
time.
starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. They had like
Yes, exactly.
2,000%. And they had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But we're going to
Yeah.
have that pretty soon. I think we
Yeah.
have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have
Can't
the
believe
worst.
I'm banned
They
for a
don't
fucking
include a
week
lot
now.
of the items that should be included.
Yeah. Well, it's just from government overspending and not spending taxpayer money
Yeah.
effectively, and having just like so many departments you can't even name them all. And what Malay is doing is he's cutting government spending. He's simplifying things. He's having putting in regulations that make sense, and we're Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement
That's
in
right.
prosperity. But it's also a lesson for the United States, which is that
Break dancing.
Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world.
Okay.
In the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country. And if you take Venezuela, for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous. They have phenomenal reserves of everything, oil, everything, and it should be prosperous. But if the government's wrong, it impoverishes the people. And so I think we should not be complacent in the United States in thinking that and taking our prosperity for
Now let me
granted.
show you guys.
Because if with bad government policy,
This
we run
TikTok
the
can't be
country into the
shared right
ground.
now. It's under
And
review. Before it even went
that's
up,
just something people should bear in
before
mind.
my
Don't take
TikTok even
prosperity
went
for
up, it's
granted.
under
Well, think
review.
of education. So we're ranked at the bottom of every list of the top 40. We're ranked number 40, number 38. Norway, Switzerland, Sweden, different countries are ranked good. Actually, China's pretty close to the top. They're a top 6 or 7. But we're ranked at the bottom, almost at the bottom, 38, 39, 40. In other words, horrible. And yet we spend
They
more
might
per
range.
pupil than any other country in the world. So we spend more. And what I'm going to do, one of the first acts, and this is where I need an Elon Musk. I need somebody that has a lot of strength and
Unbelievable.
courage and smarts. I want to close up Department of Education, move education back to the states, where
Yeah.
where states like Iowa, where states like Idaho, not every state will do great because states that basically aren't doing good now. You look at Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. He's terrible. He does a terrible job. So he's not going to do great with education. But of the
Yeah.
50, I would bet that 35 would do great, and 15
Yeah.
of them, or 20 of them will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great. You can name them. I mean, they're so good. Some of
Yeah.
these countries are so good. But if you go into some of these really well-run states, we have states that don't know what debt is. We have states that have low taxes, no debt, everybody working. They're really well run.
Sure.
And maybe they have certain advantages in terms of location, in terms of the land or the sun, and the water and the whole thing. There are a lot of advantages that some people have. But if you moved education back to the 50, you'll have some that won't do well, but they'll actually be forced to do better because it'll be a pretty bad situation.
Yeah.
But if you think
Well,
about it,
yeah.
you'll have some
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
these states. I'll bet you'd have 30, 35 states. It'll be much better. And you know what it'll cost? Less than
Yeah.
half what it is in Washington. And
Yeah.
these people don't care
Well,
about the
yeah.
students in these, faraway states. And it'd
Well,
be unbelievable.
yeah. I think you're making a good point in that if the states have to if each state has to compete against other states, then people will
That's
naturally
right.
move to states where it's better.
Well, like
Um,
California, as we said, it's a badly run state. I could go through. I got so many friends that are in those states, even if they're Democrats. I hate to mention certain states, but Illinois is badly run with Pritzker. He's a real loser. But
yeah.
some of these places are just badly run. But it's almost going to force them to run better, and they won't do it good initially. But you're not going to do worse than you're doing right now. And I would say that
Yeah.
the cost, you would cut your cost by 50 or 60%. And you'd have a little
Yeah. Yeah.
monitor. You want to make sure they're teaching English as an example. Give us a
Yeah.
little English, right?
Sure, yeah.
Right?
No, but I mean, to what? Some of these governors are doing so badly. I mean, they got so many people moving out of their state. They should get U-Haul Salesman of the Year award because they're driving so much U-Haul
It's
sales.
actually
It's just
amazing.
people
You might
moving
need
out.
new
Isn't it
notes.
amazing to you as a businessman that they can even survive? Like Illinois, so many people are leaving, and you wonder, how do they survive? I mean, how do they survive? Uh, I saw where you left California and you moved to Texas. Texas does a great job. But, I
Yeah,
mean, I just wonder, how do these states survive when big businesses, a big oil company just left California, as you know, and they moved to Texas. How do these big states survive when they lose so many businesses and their taxes are already really high? Their taxes are among the highest
yeah.
taxes. You almost wonder, how do they continue on? And in many cases, the governors don't do a good job in their crime-ridden places. You wonder, how do they continue to just go on? It's not
Well,
a good
I think there's.
situation.
I think the only thing that's going to force some of these states to change is if they risk bankruptcy and they're not getting bailed out by the federal
Right,
government.
right. Well,
That's
you're
the
gonna
only thing
have
that's going to
that.
get them to change.
You remember
Moose,
the
you have no
area in
idea right now.
California where they had that, where I guess somebody had sticky fingers and they stole a lot of money, and they went into a form of chapter, and it was very
Yeah,
nasty for
yeah.
a period of time. But now it's probably the most popular place in all of California. So at some point, something like that may have to happen. But the problem is, you can't penalize people that loan money to the state when you have incompetent people like a Pritzker. Look, the family didn't want him in the family business, and then he ends up being governor of Illinois. So what is he going to be? Is he going to be a great governor? And you have people. I could name every one of them. I got to know every one of
Yep.
these, and some are very good, and some are just horrible.
Well, I think that the larger point here, too, as you're saying, like a lot of people are concerned about the economy, a lot of people are concerned about inflation, and inflation is effectively a tax on people that save money,
Yeah.
and for people that are working day to day, it's just a form of taxation, and if we can solve the government spending problem, we'll solve the inflation problem, which means people will have a better standard of living, and
Yeah.
that's a really big
Well, the
deal.
people that got hurt
Um,
worst are the people that did it the way they were taught to do it all through, their younger life and their young life and their whole life. The people that saved money and then they got no interest on their money and inflation destroyed them. And frankly, they were almost better off if they didn't do anything like that. I mean, those people have been absolutely decimated, and we're going to bring those people back and help those people. We've got to get the prices down. When I look at bacon costing 4 or 5 times more than it did a few years ago,
sure.
when you look at some of the food products in grocery stores, people go, they can't believe it. They used to be able to buy a whole cart, and today, a lot of people just don't have the money. They go in and they can't buy anything. They look
I
at
can't.
Yeah.
A ton of other
it's
people are
sticker
alive.
I
I
shock.
think
They
can't
call it
be.
sticker shock, right?
I think it really just comes, like I said, I think it just comes down to really, I guess, two things, which is that if you solve government overspending, you solve inflation, which improves living
Right.
standards of the average person, and then if you deregulate, like have sensible regulations, so because a lot of the regulations are nonsensical and cause the cost to be extreme for no reason, but unless you've got effective deregulation, like Reagan did a great job on deregulation in the 80s, but it's been 40 years since we had
That's right.
anyone really. I mean, during your administration, we made some progress, but I think there's an opportunity to make, I think, radical progress with sensible regulation.
Yeah.
And if
Well,
it was
Elon, we
those two things, yeah, those are the big
Yeah, we
deals.
set a record. We did more deregulation and more restrictions on all of the different businesses than any other president. Remember, I had the rule for everyone we put in, you have to get rid of 10 or 12. And we did
Yeah,
radical cuts on all of that. And a lot of that's being put back by this administration. And we did radical cuts on things that weren't necessary. But we were all set. We had the best economy ever maybe in the world. And then what happened is COVID came in, and we had to focus on that, and nobody knew what it was. And I always say I got good marks on economy, good marks on military. We knocked out ISIS. We did so many different things. We rebuilt. But, I never got the credit that
Pissed
we
off
really
right now.
deserved on what we did with COVID. We never got the credit. But if had that not happened, a gift from China, from Wuhan, came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and I always said it, and it turned out to be right. But
yeah,
had that not happened, we were set to start reducing debt. We were going to reduce taxes further. I gave the largest tax cuts, and we were going to reduce taxes still further for middle income people, not only businesses. But we did it for
sure,
businesses because they're the ones that's why we had the great job numbers. But we were set to really start reducing debt. And, we're sitting on the biggest pile of liquid gold anywhere in the world, bigger than Saudi Arabia, bigger than Russia. And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil. I had stopped the Russian pipeline, and we were going to supply them with oil and gas. We were going to make a fortune. And then the COVID came in, and we really had to divert. Then what happened is when they came in, we kept a lot of businesses alive. If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. But the problem is when Biden came in, he got trillions of dollars and just started spending it stupidly. You didn't need it anymore. We got over that bad period where everybody was dying and feeling, it was just not a good period. Interestingly, during his administration, many more people died during his administration of COVID than during my administration, and we really got the brunt of it. But people don't realize more people died during his administration than ours. But it diverted us from doing what I wanted to do. But we had the greatest for almost 3 years. We had the
yeah,
great, and you know that probably better than anybody. So many of your friends said to me, the best years we've ever had in business were during the Trump years, and also said that African American, Hispanic American were so incredible. They were having the best. Asian American women, men, young people without a diploma, young people that graduated from the best colleges, from MIT, from the Wharton School, from all of the great colleges, Harvard. They were doing better, and people without a diploma were doing better, and everybody was happy. And then COVID came, and
sure.
we had the problem is they spent trillions and trillions of dollars. They wasted. They shouldn't have taken any money, and we wouldn't be having inflation right now, which is killing our country.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I should probably say something about like maybe my views on climate change
Yeah.
and oil and gas, because I think I'm probably different from what most people would assume, because my views are actually pretty, I think, moderate in this regard, which is that I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry and the people that have worked very hard in those industries to provide the necessary energy to support the economy. And if we were to stop using oil and gas right now, we would all be starving, and the economy would collapse. So it's, I don't think it's right to sort of vilify the oil and gas industry. The world has a certain demand for oil and gas, and it's probably better if the United States provides that than some other countries. And it would help with prosperity in the U.S. And at the same time, obviously, my view is like we do over time want to move to a sustainable energy economy, because eventually you do run out of. I mean, you run out of oil and gas. It's not there for. It's not infinite. Um, and there is some risk. I think it's not the risk is not as high as a lot of people say it is with respect to global warming. But I think if you just keep increasing the parts per million in the atmosphere long enough, eventually it actually simply gets uncomfortable to breathe. People don't realize this. If you go past 1,000 parts per million of CO2, you start getting headaches and nausea. And so we're now in the sort of 400 range. We're adding, I think, about roughly 2 parts per million per year. So I mean, it still gives us. So what it means is like we still have quite a bit of time, but so there's not like we don't need to rush, and we don't need to like stop farmers from farming, or you know uh, prevent people from having steaks or
Right.
basic stuff like
Right.
that. Like you can leave the farmers alone.
I agree.
In
How
my opinion.
crazy is that where
I mean,
you have farmers that are not allowed to farm anymore and have to get rid of their cattle, and the whole world is
yeah,
a
that's
little
silly.
crazy, but it's largely taken its lead from us. I just say though, I've heard in terms of the fossil fuel, because even to create your electric car and create the electricity needed for the electric car, fossil fuel actually creates that so you sort of can't get away from it at this moment. I mean, someday you might be able to, but I do hear we have anywhere from 100 to 500 years left. Much of it hasn't even been found yet.
Yeah,
But there are tremendous, like Anwar. I got Anwar in Alaska approved. Ronald Reagan couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Everybody tried. Nobody could do it. I got it approved. The first thing that Biden did was unimprove to get rid of it. He ended
yeah.
it. His secretary went in and she ended it. And what a disgrace. That's Anwar. That's bigger, or they think it could be bigger than Saudi Arabia in Alaska. Could be bigger than Saudi Arabia. But they went in and they terminated it. And I'll get it going very quickly, because not only is it big for Alaska, I mean, you talk about economic development, that for the United States, I mean, that is, they say bigger than Saudi Arabia or the same size, and pure,
Yeah.
really good stuff. And, they end it. So I think we have, perhaps hundreds of years left. Nobody really knows. But during that
Yeah.
during that
I mean,
time,
my
something will
estimate.
come around that will be
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and my estimate would be, a little more aggressive than that. But it's not the sort of like we're all going to die in 5 years stuff. That's obviously BS. Um, but I mean, my view is like if you just look at sort of the parts per million that increments every year, you get sort of 2 or 3 parts per million every year of CO2. Uh, y- I mean, I think some of that it's problematic if it accelerates, if you start going from 2 or
Right.
3 to say 5, and then there may be some situations where you get just a step change increase in the CO2.
Hmm.
And I think we don't want to get too close to 1,000 ppm, because like that's actually makes it uncomfortable to breathe. Like just existing in 1,000 ppm CO2 is uncomfortable. That's like that's considered like an industrial hazard.
Right.
Just so it's that's actually, you start getting headaches and stuff. So it's even without global warming, it's not comfortable to live with. So you don't want to get too close to that. But I mean, I think we've got. I think we want to just move over, and like, and if I don't know, 50 to 100 years from now, we're I don't know, mostly sustainable. I think that'll probably be okay. Um, so it's not like the house is on fire immediately, but I think it is something we need to move towards. And on on balance, it's probably better to move they're faster than slower, but like I said, without vilifying the oil and gas industry, and without causing hardship in the short term. I think this can be done um, without, but people can still have, a stake, and they can still drive gasoline
Sure.
cars, and it's okay. It's like, it's not. I don't think we should vilify people for it, but I think we should just generally lean in the direction of sustainability. And I actually think solar is going to be a majority of Earth's energy generation in the future, and it's certainly trending that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get the solar power, combine that with batteries, so because obviously the sun doesn't shine at night, and then you use that to charge the electric cars, and you have a long-term sustainable solution. And that's what Tesla is trying to move things towards, and I think we've made a lot of progress in that regard. But when you look at our cars, we don't believe that environmentalism, that caring about the environment should mean that you have to suffer. So we make sure that our cars are beautiful, that they drive well, that they're fast, they're sexy. I mean, they're cool. In fact, literally, I made this sexy joke: Model S, Model 3, Model X, and Y spells out sexy. It's probably the most expensive joke out there. But I don't know, I like cheesy humor, So, but I'm a big fan of, like, let's have an inspiring future, and
Yeah.
let's work towards a better future, and we can do so without demonizing
Right.
people.
I'm okay.
You know.
It's very interesting. You use the word global warming, and today they use the word climate change because you have some places that go up, and so they were getting themselves in a little trouble with the word global warming because not every place is warming. Some places are going the opposite direction. But I'm sort of waiting for you to come up with solar panels on the roofs of your cars and on the trunks of the cars, and it just seems like something that at some point you will come up with. I'm sure you'll be the first, but it would seem that a solar panel on the roofs, on flat surfaces, on certain surfaces might be good,
Yeah.
at least in certain areas of the country where you have the world
Sure.
where you have the sun. But I would think, and I have no idea because that's not my world, but I would think that this would be something that would be interesting. But the one thing that I don't understand is that people talk about global warming or they talk about climate change, but they never talk about nuclear warming. And to me,
Sure.
that's an immediate problem because you have, as I said, 5 countries where you have major nuclear, and probably some others are getting there, and that's very dangerous. That's where you need a strong American president because you don't want to have this proliferation. But you have 5 countries and getting more. China is much less than us right now, but they're going to catch us sooner than people think. They're way lower. Russia and us are number one, and I mean, we're sort of tied. And China is far behind, but they're developing at a level that you're not surprised to hear very fast. They'll end up catching up, maybe even
Yeah.
surpassing. But to me, the biggest
Yeah.
problem is not climate change. It's not, and everything's a problem, but it's degrees. To me, the big problem is the nuclear power. The power of nuclear is so great. And when I talk
Yeah.
about
Nuclear power is underrated. It's
I'll
awesome.
prevent World War
Yeah.
III,
Oh,
I will. But the truth
okay.
is that you have to, because this
You're
is
right,
no longer
Scott.
army
You're
tanks
right.
going back and forth and shooting at each other. This is
Just
Yeah.
so
a level
frustrating,
of
dude.
destruction and power that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, and actually, there's the bad side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation is
Absolutely. You're
underrated,
right.
and it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation, but it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding. Um, and if you look at the injuries and deaths, caused by, say, I mean, I'm not going to try to pick on coal mining, but just any kind of mining
Right.
operation, and there's a certain number of injuries and deaths per year, and you compare that to nuclear. Nuclear is actually way better. So it's underrated as an electricity source, and I think it's something that's worth reconsidering. But there's so much regulation that people can't get it done. So that
Maybe they'll have
sort
to
of
change the
have it,
name. The name is just, it's a rough name. There are some areas
yeah, it's a rough
like when
name.
you see what happened in,
Good bad
right,
branding. The
we'll have to
branding's rough.
rebrand it. We'll have to give it a good name. We'll name it after you or something. You know,
No,
no,
I
it
don't think
has
so.
it has a branding problem. When you see what happened,
It does have a branding problem.
when you see what happened in Japan where they say you won't be able to go on the land for about 3,000 years. Did you ever see that? And in Russia, where they had the problem, where they, there's a lot of bad things happened, and they have a problem. And they say that in 2,000 years, people will start to occupy the land again. You realize it's pretty bad.
No, that's not true.
But you're
Well,
right
no,
about it. It's amazing.
it's actually not that bad. So like after Fukushima happened in Japan, like people were asking me in California, are we worried about like a nuclear cloud coming from Japan? I'm like, no, that's crazy. It's actually it's not even dangerous in Fukushima. I actually flew there and ate locally grown vegetables on TV to prove it. Um, and and I donated a solar water treatment, a solar powered system for a water treatment plant. And
Yeah, but you haven't
because the
been
danger
feeling
is
so
just
well lately, and I'm worried about it.
no, but I mean
I'm
it's just
only kidding.
it's
I'm only
fine,
kidding.
it's like Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So
Right.
it's
Well, that's
clearly
great.
not
That's good.
something that
That's
um,
great.
so it's not as scary as people think, basically. But
Yeah.
um, let's see. I mean, are there some other topics we should touch on? Like lawfare. I think
Well,
we need to be
Oh, is
concerned
Harris
about.
what
already
they've
attacking
done
the
to this
interview?
country.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we just won the big
I mean,
case in Florida. This was a Biden administration did something that's never been done in this country, and that's go after their political opponent, me, with this nonsense and just nonsense. And the big case in Florida we won, but they always pick a judge and a jury, and they use local DAs.
Hate
They use
speech
the
site.
local attorney generals, like Fani, Fani, spelled
yeah,
Fani, Fani, and
You
yeah,
look
it's
on
yeah,
my
all a big
face to
hoax,
what
and it's all
aspies
run
your
from
opinion of
there. Like
me.
in Manhattan, the one of
I
the
don't know if
top
that's good
people
or
from
bad.
the Justice Department went in, ran Manhattan, ran the state. The Letitia James deal was run by a person from the Department of Justice, Biden. They've never done this before,
sure,
and they set up a very bad precedent. It's called lawfare, warfare.
yeah,
It's a terrible thing, and never happened in our country. It does happen in banana republics and third world countries, but it's never
yeah,
happened. And the incredible thing is it actually drove my numbers up because people see, fortunately I have a platform like you, or, in all fairness, like a conversation like this, where I can talk about it and people understand. I mean, you fight for election integrity and you end up getting indicted because you're fighting for election integrity. And when the day comes that you can't fight for election integrity, you don't have a country anymore. So what
yeah,
happens is they went after their political opponent, me. Now Biden's, close to vegetable stage, in my opinion. Okay, I looked at him today on the beach, and I said, why would anybody allow him? The guy could barely walk. Why would anybody allow him? Does
yeah.
he have a political advisor that thinks this looks good? He thinks this looks good because it looks so bad, and it's ridiculous. I mean, and he's been doing
Right,
that
right.
for a long time. He can't lift the chair. The chair weighs about 3 ounces. It's meant for children and old people to lift, and he can't
Yeah.
lift it. The whole thing is
Well,
crazy.
he's clearly. I mean, he's clearly like we just don't have a president right
You
now.
don't
That's
have a
just obviously the
president, and
case.
she's going to be worse than him
Um,
because she is a San Francisco liberal who destroyed San Francisco, and then as Attorney General, she destroyed California. You talk about location, and we're talking about the sun and the water and all. There's nothing better than California. She has destroyed that. She was the original DA. She was the original in San Francisco. She was the original Attorney General in California. What she has done to California is, well, you know better than I do. You just left California for a lot of those reasons. And what she's done with crime, with cashless bail, where you kill somebody. I mean, we have states now you kill somebody and they let you out right away. I mean, you don't have to even put up, and then they never find the people unless they kill again, and then they let them out again. Our
yeah.
country is becoming a very dangerous place. And she is a radical left San Francisco liberal. And now she's trying to protect. Now she's looking like she wants to be more Trump than Trump, if that's possible. I don't think it's possible, but she wants to be more Trump than
Well,
Trump.
yeah.
I want a wall. I
I
want,
think that's
she
yeah,
wants to release all the
yeah.
prisoners that are in detention, and some of these guys are really bad.
Right.
That just came
Yeah, I
out
just saw
today.
that.
She
Yeah.
doesn't want to build the wall, even though the walls work. Walls and wheels. In your business, everything you do is obsolete, almost, well, not the tunnels, but everything is obsolete. Even your rocket ships. like a month later, they're obsolete. You find a better way to. The only thing that's not obsolete is a wall and a wheel. And the wall, I built hundreds of miles of wall, and that's why we had such good numbers. I was going to add 200
Yeah.
miles. We bought it. We could have flipped it up in 3 weeks, and they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. That meant, I said, wow, that means that they actually do want to have open borders. She wants to have open borders, and now she's going like she's tough on the border. It's such a lie.
Yeah, this is simply not true.
Yeah,
This is simply
no,
not
and
true.
everybody
Yeah,
knows it's
simply not
not true.
true.
It's a disgrace that she can
Yeah.
say it.
No, I mean, obviously, what's happening sort of overnight is they're rewriting history and making Kamala
Guys,
sound
please
like
follow my new
moderate
backup
when in
account.
fact she is far left, like far
Worse
left.
than Bernie
Um,
Sanders. She is considered more
yeah,
I just
liberal by
set this
far
up. Please go
than
follow my
Bernie
backup
Sanders.
account.
She's a radical left lunatic. And if she's going to be our president, very quickly, you're
Just
not
in
going to have a
case they
country
decide to
anymore.
come to try
And
to
she'll go
ban me.
back to all of
yeah,
the things that she believes in. She believes in defunding the police. She believes in no fracking, zero. You don't. Now all of a sudden she's
yeah.
saying, no, I will. I really want to see
Thank you,
fracking.
James.
If they got in, the day she got in, she'll end fracking. And by the way, if people didn't think that, the lunatics that really believe in that, they won't vote for her. Like like the
Yeah.
Palestinians and Israel. She is so anti-Israel, and she's bad for both. Biden actually did something that was impossible. Both sides hate him. Both sides. That was a hard
Yeah.
thing to do. Unification.
Yeah, no. I mean, Netanyahu came to give a talk to a joint Senate and House sitting, and I was there, and Kamala stood him up. What does that say?
I think
Um,
it's highly
that's
disrespectful. And I say, if you're a Jewish person or if you believe in Israel, if you're a person that, is very pro-Israel, if you vote for her, it's worse than Biden. And Biden was bad. But if you vote for her, you ought to have your head examined. And you see tonight, I mean, as we're doing this, I'm seeing reports coming that they expect an attack tonight or tomorrow from hundreds and maybe thousands of rockets. Their Iron Dome, as they call it, as we all call it, but their shield that they build, that can be
Thank you all.
swamped. We'll use the term that's
yeah,
appropriate, swamped. But they
yeah.
swamp it by shooting enough missiles. You know this better than anybody. By shooting enough missiles,
So,
they can't defend themselves. They just obliterate the whole
yeah,
place. And that's what some people think they're looking to do. And we have no leadership. There's no respect for the United States of America with these people. And I'm telling you,
yeah,
she'll be worse than him because she's a believer
yeah. No,
in
I
being
think you're right.
radical left, and he wasn't.
I think you're right. I mean, you really, it's important for the public that may be listening to this to look at Kamala's track record, before the last month, and say, is that a track record you agree with? And I think if you're an independent moderate, you definitely would not agree with it, because it is her behavior has been far left, and we're seeing just an overnight propaganda attempt to rewrite history and make it sound like Kamala's moderate when she in fact is not moderate.
Well,
So I
her
think that,
running mate approved, signed into legislation, tampons in boys' bathrooms. Okay, now
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all I
that's
have to
weird.
hear. Tampons in
That's
boys'
weird.
bathrooms, and that means she
Yeah,
believes in that too. I mean,
yeah, that's
she
not
picked
okay.
this guy because he was the closest to her. A lot of people thought she'd pick sort of the opposite, but she picked an anti-Israel
Hold
radical
on.
left person. But she is far worse, they say, than Bernie Sanders. If we have her as a president, if we have a Democrat at this moment as a president, I don't think our country can survive.
I think it's a massive. I think we're in massive trouble, frankly, with the Kamala administration, and that's my honest opinion. And I think really it's essential that you win for the good of the country for this election. And I mean I'm just stating my opinion. Now you may have seen this, but I got a letter from the EU Commission saying to not have disinformation on during this discussion that we're having, and there's a lot of attempts to do censorship, and to force censorship, even on Americans from other countries. And what do you think about that?
Well, I know the European Union very
Actually,
well.
follow this one. Sorry,
They take
guys.
great advantage of the United States in trade, as you know. We, through a different forum, NATO, we protect them, and yet
There,
if
follow that one.
you build a car in the United States,
That's
you
the one to
can't sell it
follow.
in Europe. You just can't sell it. It's impossible. The same thing with our
No, no, no.
farmers. Our
Follow that
farmers
one.
find it very difficult to do business. You know, we have a deficit with them of $250 billion, which people don't know. It sounds so nice, the European Union, but let me tell you, they're not as tough as China, but they're bad. And I let them know it. And that's probably why they notified you. No, they don't treat our country well. We defend them, you know, with Ukraine. So we're in for 250 billion, and they're in for about 71 billion, and they have the same size. It's if you add up the European nations that in terms of an economy, it's about the same size. When you say as us, and they're in,
Yeah.
and they're in much greater risk. They're right there. We have an ocean
There we go.
separating us from, in this case, the enemy would be Russia. Used to be for the
Yeah.
Soviet Union, but let's assume they're close enough. And what happens is they're in for 70 something million. I think even less than that, billion, and we're in for about
Those are the ones to
250
follow.
billion, and it could be a lot higher than that. And I say, why aren't you going to equalize? Why aren't they paying what we're paying? And they're in much more, it's much more important for them because of the fact that, they're right near there. I mean, they're all sort of in that location. We're not. But
Yeah.
they should, and I did it with NATO. There were only 7 countries that were paid up in NATO out of 28 at the time. And the United States
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
the United States was subsidizing NATO, tremendously subsidizing NATO. And I said, I went
Yeah.
in and I said, you
Yeah.
got to pay up. If you don't pay up, we're not going to defend you any longer. I took a lot of heat, but you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in, and
Yeah. I think a lot of the public isn't aware of the fact that the United States pays a disproportionate share of the NATO expenses,
and then we get
even though
taken advantage of on trade. So think
yeah,
about it.
well, I mean, the point of NATO is defending Europe, and it's it's like, then okay, well, why is the United States paying disproportionately more to defend Europe than Europe? That doesn't make sense. That's unfair, and that is an appropriate thing to address.
Well,
Um,
when you talk about
so
cost cutting and savings and everything else, I mean, honestly, look,
Thank
there's
you all.
nobody that feels worse about the Ukraine situation than I do because I know it would have never happened. I know Zelensky. He was very honorable to me because when they went with the Russia hoax and they said I had a phone call with him, he said it was a perfect phone call. It was a great phone call. He could have grandstanded and, said, oh, he was very threatening. He said, no, it was a very nice phone call. I called him up to congratulate him on his win, and you end up getting impeached because these people are
yeah, yeah,
lunatics. I was talking about the difference from the people within and the enemies on the outside. In many cases, the people from within are more dangerous for our country than the Russias and the Chinas. If you have a smart president, you're not going to have a problem with them. You're going to do things.
yeah,
Now, they've taken advantage
yeah,
of us
absolutely.
incredibly, but you're going to do things with the right person.
Yeah, well, I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing is that you and I have, and some people, very few, we can get the word out. Although sometimes it's hard because they don't want to print it, like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not
No.
smart. She's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question. He would have walked out. He would have said, "Where am I? Where am I going?" So anyway, but
Yeah,
no, he wouldn't have this.
that's true.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory. But the beauty is that we can have a conversation, and
Yes, you
I'm
can actually
able
have a
to get it
conversation.
out without because I get treated
This is a
unfairly
this
by
is a
the
really
press.
big point. You can actually have a conversation with you,
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
and you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like not it's not possible.
That's true.
Um, this is like talking to an NPC.
No.
So it's just
Well,
impossible.
but think of it. We need a man or person who's unbelievably sharp in order to stop all the nuclear danger and all the dangers that I'm talking about. And I got along with all these. I got along with Kim Jong Un. We had dinner. We had everything, and he really liked me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. A lot of people said, "Oh, do you think he will?"
That's for
Let me
sure.
tell you, I saw things that you don't want to know about. He is the boss. But we had a good relationship, and he doesn't like Biden. He considers him a stupid man. He said he's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it, but I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it if
Yeah.
it's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead. And she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now,
Yeah.
Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating or
No, it's
even
silly. It would be
standing
silly.
together? It is, the whole
Yeah.
concept is ridiculous. She is terrible. She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I
It
saw a
would,
picture of her
yeah. Yeah.
on Time Magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing, and actually,
Yeah.
she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She looked, she looked, didn't look,
Yeah.
she didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman, so we'll leave it at that, right?
Yeah, well, maybe like I think part of what people in America want to, people in America want to feel excited and inspired about the future. They want to feel like the
It's
future is
true.
going to be better than the past, and that America is going to do things that are greater than we've done in the past, reach
Right.
new heights that make you proud to be an American, and excited about the future. Um,
They want the
I
American
think
dream
this,
back. They want the American dream back. More important than anything else. It's like you don't have that today because the people they've been just sucked. They see incompetent people running our. You know, the Biden thing is very interesting. People just found him to be incompetent, and when I debated him, I was like, "Is this for real?" It was
yeah, it was just absurd. But I think there are like some grand projects that we could do. I mean, I think like we could build a base on the moon. We could send American astronauts to Mars. We
right.
could build high speed
Yep.
connections that are more advanced than anything else in the world between our cities, so people have fast transport. Um, it's possible to solve traffic with tunnels.
That's right.
We already made great progress in Vegas doing that, and and just do things that are exciting and inspiring and make the future feel like it's better than the past.
Well, I saw
And
what you did in Vegas, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. I got to see. I took a big glimpse at it, and it's incredible. It's incredible, and you could do that all over. You could do that all over. It's deep.
yeah,
You
and
don't
that's
even need much structure. Assuming you're in the right areas.
no, it's straightforward.
It's amazing.
So I think we could do some things that like China's got incredible high speed rail between its cities, but I think it's actually possible with tunnels if with deregulation with an ability to actually where it's like legal to actually do the tunnels. Then you could have high speed tunnels that are actually better than anything else in the world for high speed transport between cities, and that would be something that Americans can say, "Wow, okay, we've got something that's cooler than anyone else in the
Yeah.
world." That's the kind of thing that makes you proud to be an
And
American.
much safer than surface trains where there is a danger there, with people, with crazy
Yeah,
people. It's much safer, much better. And, it's sad because I've seen some of the greatest trains. I find it fascinating. And I've seen the systems and how they work, and the bullet trains, they call them, I guess. And
yeah,
they go unbelievably fast, unbelievably comfortable with no problems. And we don't have anything like that in this country, not even close. And
yeah.
it doesn't make sense that we don't. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I think also like there's I'm kind of hopping on the excess regulation, but I think something that like I think people can generally understand is that what happens with laws and regulations is that there's more and more of them every year, and unless there's a process to clean them up, eventually everything becomes
You're right.
illegal, and that actually it slows down the development of new technologies. I mean, if you take the sort of like I think there's room for some reform at the FDA for
Yeah.
improving the speed with which we approve drugs that could help save lives and improve people's
Yeah.
lives.
I worked very hard
And
on that.
you know
We got that
yeah,
down to the lowest number ever, and we got therapeutics approved in the FDA that people can't even believe the speed. But I took them on. I don't think they like me too much, but I got things approved in the FDA at numbers that they wouldn't believe. And it's a very bureaucratic group. Actually, it's a fine group of people in many cases. I got to know a lot of them, but I was pushing them really hard for Regeneron, for so many different things that were really pretty amazing. But the FDA takes too long. It's 12 years to get a product approved. I got it down to 4, and I
yeah.
got some things done very quickly. But it's really something that is going to have to be worked on because it takes too long. Just takes too long.
Yeah, it just takes too long, and it's you end up in the same with the approval, but it's just it takes years instead of something that I think could potentially take
Yeah,
months, that improves people's lives. I
yeah,
think but I just wanted to sort of hop on this point that like there has to be an active process for reducing rules and regulations, because otherwise they just keep building up every year, and
yep,
you get like hardening of the arteries, and eventually everything's illegal or takes forever, and then we just we just ossify as a society. Uh, we can't make any
yeah.
progress, and that's it's a really big
Well,
deal.
Elon, just
So
getting back to the FDA for 1 second, I got something done called Right to Try. This is where you can go in and if you're terminally ill, you can use a space age, medicine or whatever it may be. We have the best doctors, the best labs in the world. We really do. And but people would go to other countries because you couldn't use the product, even if they thought it worked, because it's going through the FDA. I got it approved
yeah,
where you can
yeah,
you basically you look, nobody wanted, the doctors didn't want it because of the liability, the country didn't want it, our country, because they didn't want to get sued. These are people terminally ill. The insurance companies didn't want it, and the pharmaceutical companies, nobody wanted it. I got everybody into a room, and we came up with an agreement that you won't get sued. And also, they didn't want it on their record. If somebody's terminally ill and they die after taking a drug, they didn't want that on their record. So we set a separate list. If somebody was, so it wouldn't count as a negative.
yeah,
Okay. And as you know, we got it
yeah,
done. We have saved Right to Try. They've been trying to get this done for 58
yeah,
years. And it sounds simple, but it wasn't because, the insurance companies, nobody wanted it, but we got it done.
sure,
Somebody signs, you sign a document that you're not going to sue the insurance companies, the country, you're not going to sue anybody. And we got it done. And we're saving tens of thousands of lives. Right to Try. Hopefully you never need it. But if you
yeah,
do, you don't have to travel to Asia. People,
right,
if they had money, they go to
yeah,
Asia, they go
sure,
to Europe. If they don't have money, they go home and die. That's what happened. They'd go home and
yeah.
die.
Well, I mean, and actually, to give Europe some props here, it's like if a drug is approved in Europe, which has a crazy amount of regulations, it should obviously be approved in the U.S.
Yeah.
I mean, they got more regulations than we do. So why would a drug be approved in Europe and not in the U.S.? That's crazy.
Well, we did it. We did
Um,
something that really, they've been trying to do it for 50 years and they just couldn't get it done. And I got it done. And it's really something. But you're right. Some people go to Europe because a drug isn't approved here, but it's approved in Europe. And it's a drug that, generally speaking, would
yeah,
work. It's pretty crazy. You're
absolutely.
right.
And I think so long as people are properly informed of the pros and cons, and like these are the risks, this is the risk, and like you make your own decision.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, I think just,
So
in sort of closing up, and by the way, I'm looking at the numbers. You got a lot of people listening. I hope you don't get
yeah,
nervous because you got a lot of people listening to you right now, like 60 million or something. What is that number? It's crazy. It's amazing how you can see that right away. How many? What is the number? Wow. What is it?
well,
Wow.
I think in
Wow,
terms of
that's a
people
that's a big
that
that's bigger than you said. You said 25, and you're much more than double that number, 25 million. I think you're going to be 60 or 70, and I guess over a period of time. Hey, I congratulate you. Do I get paid for this or not?
Well, I think actually in terms of the number of people that will hear this conversation over the next few days to
Right.
weeks, it's going to be hundreds of
That's what they
millions.
say. Yeah, that's good. Well, look, it's an
Yeah.
honor. I just asked this: are you better off now, or were you better off when I was president? Nobody's better off now. People, we put out polls on that, and nobody's better off now. Inflation has killed it. And they also feel very unsafe. You look at what's going on with a lot of different things. You look at the riots we had at the
Yeah.
colleges over, I mean, it's ridiculous, but
Right.
all of the riots, they just feel unsafe. And now they really feel unsafe because you have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime. I call it Biden
Well,
migrant
yeah.
crime. Maybe I'll call it
Well,
Kamala migrant crime. But
I mean, with all these things, I always try to get to the ground truth by just asking people. And my mom lives in New York, and I was like, Mom, do have any of your friends, been attacked or assaulted? And she said, yeah, three of her friends in three separate
crazy.
incidents were assaulted just in recent months, just walking around the streets of New York. And I said, well, what happened to the people that assaulted them? Oh, nothing. They got away. Like, and they just
They
know that
always get away.
nothing's gonna, and they don't even bother reporting it because there's not, they know that they're not going to, people are not going to get prosecuted. They just let, violent criminals out in New York
The only one
with
that gets
zero bail.
prosecuted is Donald Trump. They prosecute Trump.
Yeah, I mean it's just obviously messed
Oh,
up
it's terrible.
if violent criminals are being getting off scot
Yeah.
free, and meanwhile New York spending massive resources prosecuting you, and it's like what's this, and I think the sort of sensible public looks at this and says, what the heck's going on here? This is obviously abuse of the legal system. Um, the legal system is supposed to be protecting the
That's right.
public from violent criminals, and it should be obviously allowing the public to make their own decision about who should be president, as opposed to some legal case.
Once they start this precedent, because this can go on with the next one. I mean, this is a very bad precedent, what they're doing in terms of, going after their political opponent. And that's all it is. It's going after their political opponent.
Yeah.
And then you get a judge who's, a strong Democrat. And I'm being nice when I say that, in many cases, crooked as hell. But you get a judge and you go into an area where a Republican gets 3 or 4% of the vote. And, you'll have a jury pool
Yeah.
with people that hate Republicans or hate. It could
Sure.
also be the other way, though,
Of course.
because it could start the other way in areas where they hate
Exactly.
Democrats. And you get into a
Yep.
Pandora's box. It's a very dangerous thing for this country, and a very dangerous thing even for the state. New York City is
Yep.
losing. New York
Absolutely.
City and state lose a lot of business over what they did to me, because these people say, we don't want that to happen to us. That's no justice system. You have an unfair system of
Yes.
justice, and it's costing New York State a tremendous amount of money. People are leaving and companies are leaving, and they won't come back. So, all of that stuff is important. But the economy now is the big thing, and we can turn that economy up so fast, and people are going to be back again. We're going to get rid of
Yeah.
inflation.
I think there's a lot of
Right.
opportunity. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
And I just
I
want
think
to
I
I want to
think
congratulate you. You've done an amazing job. You have definitely got a fertile mind. We can talk. You and I can talk about rockets and,
it's kind of you to say thank you.
well, tunnels. We can talk about tunnels and rockets and electric cars. So many things. And now you're into the AI, and that's going to be another beauty, I'll say. So
Yeah.
it's an amazing thing you've done, Elon. It's an amazing thing, and I
Well,
congratulate you.
I mean, thank you. And well, I mean, I just say here, here's to an exciting, inspiring future that people can look forward to and be optimistic and excited about what happens next. And that's the kind of future that I think you will bring as president, and that's why I endorse you.
Well, I appreciate that. That endorsement meant a lot to me. Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot. And, we have a phrase, make America great again. It's pretty simple, but it really says that we want to make America great again. And we can do it. We can do it now. But if we were going to suffer another 4 years like we've suffered for the last 4 years, I'm not sure the country can ever come back. That's how bad it is. It's so bad. We have to do a lot
I
of
think that's a
things.
very real
Yeah,
risk.
it's a big
That's a
risk.
very real risk.
Yeah.
And it's, I'd just like to note to people listening, like I've not been very political before, and if you look at my record, I've actually been. I'm not like some they try to paint me as like a far right guy, which is absurd because I'm like making electric vehicles and solar and batteries, helping with the environment, and and I actually I supported Obama. I stood in line for 6 hours to shake Obama's hand when he was running for president, and so it's not like I'm like some sort of dyed in the wool long-term Republican. I call myself, uh, historically a moderate Democrat, and but now I feel like we're really at a critical juncture for the country, and uh, I think a lot of people thought the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not, and obviously we're just going to see an even further left uh, administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. I mean, she was brought up as an actual. Her dad is a Marxist economist. You can Google it. I mean, it's not a. We're not making this up. That's how she was brought up. So, and we want to have a future that is prosperous. And I think we're just at this critical juncture, and I think this is a case of the America is kind of at a fork in the road, and
True.
and I think it will take if the path to, like you are the path to prosperity, and I think Kamala is the opposite. Then that's my honest opinion. I'm gonna get attacked like crazy, and I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself, and but I'm just trying to tell people my honest opinion, and I haven't been really active in politics before, and I'm just trying to point out that my track record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left. And so this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say, I think you should support um, Donald Trump for president. And I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
Well, I want to thank you. And, I actually always did think of you as somewhat left. I must say that. So it's
Yeah.
even more of an
Well,
honor to
yeah.
have your endorsement. I know how strong you feel about it. But, when you think of her, San Francisco, 15 years ago, I had a great friend, Bob Tish. He said it's the greatest city in America, and now it's almost not livable there. And California likewise. And she was involved in the destruction of San Francisco and the destruction of California, and she will be involved in the destruction of our country if people are so unwise as to elect her. And I hope that doesn't happen, and I hope the elections are going to be run honestly, and we're going to turn this country around. We're going to do things and we can do it fairly quickly. And we have to get rid of the criminals that have been, given to us by other countries as they laugh. They laugh at
Yeah.
us. They think we're stupid to accept these people. These are radical, stone cold killers in many cases and terrorists. And they're in our country by the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And we have to take
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah, I mean, if I could summarize it, perhaps, I think these are issues that I think most people in America would agree with, which is that we want safe and clean cities, we want secure borders, we want sensible government spending, we want to restore both the perception and reality of respect in the judicial system, just stop the lawfare, and I think that's like, and how are those even right wing positions? I think those are that's just common sense, and that's I mean, would you agree with that?
100%. I don't understand, the whole, they call it progressive. They don't like the word liberal anymore, but call it liberal or progressive. I don't understand how somebody could say that it's okay for them to empty prisons into our country. And again, I told you their
Yeah,
crime
it's
rates
definitely
all
not
over the world
okay.
are going way down, which makes sense. In fact, the next time what we'll do is if something happens with this election, which would be a horror show, we'll meet the next time in Venezuela because it'll be a far safer place to meet than our country. Okay, so you and I will go and we'll have a meeting and dinner in Venezuela because that's what's happening. Their crime rates coming down and our crime rates going through the roof. And it's so simple. And you haven't seen anything yet because these people have come into our country and they're just getting acclimated. And they don't know about being politically correct law enforcement or lack of law enforcement. And our police, I have to just end with this. We have great police. We have great law enforcement, but they're not allowed to do their job. They have to be able to do their
Yeah.
job without being destroyed.
Well, absolutely, and it's obviously demoralizing if you're a police officer risking your life to to arrest violent criminals who could kill you and do kill you sometimes, and then you arrest the violent criminal and then the DA doesn't prosecute and that's let the guy out.
Right.
Well, then like why should a police officer risk their life uh, to arrest a violent felon
Well, even worse,
if
Elon,
nothing's going to happen?
even worse, they prosecute the police officer. They go after it and they prosecute the police officer and they take away his pension. They take away his
Yeah.
job. He loses his family. He loses his house.
Well, I thought it was very telling, like incredibly telling, that when there was that case where sort of a gang of thugs beat up police officers. I think it was in Times
Yep.
Square in New York, and and then nothing happened to those guys. They were let out, zero bail, and I think a bunch of them were given free tickets to California. Well, what is I mean that is a gross indignity against the United States, and that's how. I mean, this is insane. Like, have we lost all pride? What that? How can such a thing be allowed to occur?
I've never seen anything.
You know?
We see where they get shot. It's a very dangerous profession, but it's something they're very proud of, and they want to be able to do their job. But I've seen them get shot. I've seen a lot of things, but I've never seen where these guys are standing in the middle of a big street, everybody watching them, and they're literally boxing, like punching, stand-up fighting a police officer. There were two of them, and
Yeah,
yet about six
yeah,
of
yeah.
these guys, and they're punching the hell out of them. And in their own country, they would be dead if they did that. They'd be shot.
Yes.
They would be shot instantly. And they come from these countries, and it's taking them a while to realize that we don't do that in this country. But in their own
Yeah.
country, if they stood on a street and had a fight with a police officer, they would be shot. There's no political correctness. And it's such a sad,
Yeah. It's
it's
just
such a sad thing to see. And that's the reason you
we
have
yeah
crime, by the way,
yeah
because we don't do anything about
yeah
it.
yeah we just cannot have a situation where our police officers are beaten up on camera by a gang of illegal immigrants, and then nothing happens to the guys that beat up the cops. I mean, and they're let out. This is
Well, we're going to
unacceptable.
change it,
Um,
and we're going to get them out of the country. When I first got involved, they said you couldn't get them back to these countries. You couldn't take them back. In the case of Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, some others, you couldn't get them back. And I said, really? Oh, you can't get them back? Because under Obama, he couldn't get them back. They'd fly them in, and they'd put planes on the runways in these countries so you couldn't land a plane. They'd bring them back. And the generals told me, sir, we can't bring them back. The countries won't accept MS-13 gang members. They won't accept them. And I said, really, how much do we pay these various countries in terms of economic aid, which is also somewhat ridiculous? And the answer was $750 million. I said, good. Tell them they're in default. They're delinquent. We're not paying them anymore because they won't accept
yeah,
it.
it's
And you know what happened? They all called me,
yeah,
every one
yeah,
of them. They said, we would be honored to take them back, sir. We would be honored. It was so easy. But it's one of those things. And we got them back. We took in so many, the MS-13 is probably
yeah,
the worst gangs in the world. They're the most vicious, violent. We took them out of here by the thousands and got them out of here. And their countries took them back. And because I said, you're not getting any more economic aid. And once I said that, they were nice. They wouldn't take them back for
yeah,
Obama. They
yeah.
wouldn't take them back for anybody. And now we have a problem because we have this guy, and they don't take him back anymore with Biden because they don't respect him.
Yeah, yeah. It's just gotta be done. We just can't have whether they're citizens or not citizens. We can't have, because they won't prosecute citizens either, not just illegals. So that if it's you can't have violent repeat violent offenders that are not that don't get incarcerated,
That's right.
because they will obviously, by definition, continue to hurt people. And I think where part of this comes from is that there's and I do sort of consider myself liberal in some ways. I mean, it's just that you want to have empathy for
Right.
people. Obviously, you want to have empathy for people. I totally agree with that. You want to have empathy, but you also have to have empathy for the victims of the criminals. And if you just have empathy for the criminals, it's actually shallow empathy. It's not real. you're not thinking. You have one layer deep empathy. You got to say, like, what if you don't incarcerate this person? Who are they going to hurt? Who are they might kill someone. They might rape someone. If you don't incarcerate them, you have to have empathy for the victims. And there's a lack of empathy for the victims of the criminals, and too much empathy for the criminals. It doesn't make sense. That's why you want to have deep empathy for society as a whole, not shallow empathy for
That's right.
criminals.
And we have to give our police officers the dignity and the respect that they deserve. And we have to let them do their job. They can do a great job, but we have to let them do their job. And if we don't do that, it's going to all disappear. There's never been a society like this where you're allowed to do anything you want and nothing happens. And I'm talking about violent crime. And it's going to get more violent because these are really, really violent people. And we're going to get them out of our country, and we're going to get them back to because they were sent here by the presidents and by the various people that run those countries. And I know every one of those guys. And they're smart people, and they're streetwise people. And they really think that the USA is stupid. They think we're run by stupid people, and they happen to be right. But when I was there, we had no problem. We got them out. We took out thousands of MS-13 gang members. We brought them back. And now, again, it's the same old story. We don't do it. And they actually gave them a big increase in aid. They raised it up to billions of dollars, and they get nothing for it. So, I hope everybody's going to vote for Trump, and we're going to get this country straight.
Yeah.
And I didn't need this.
I,
I'm like you. I didn't need this. I had a very nice
yeah,
life. I didn't need to go
yeah,
through
yeah.
court systems and go through all the other stuff and run at the
Sure.
same time. I have to run. I have to go through fake trials with, in some cases, corrupt judges, totally corrupt judges. I didn't need it. I had a nice life. I have great locations. I have beautiful oceans that I have places. But I felt it was important. And if I had to do it over again, you probably think I'm crazy for doing it, actually. But if I had to do it over again, I would have done it over again, because this is so much more important than me or my life. We're going to save this country. This country is going down. And these people are bad people that we're running against, and they're liars. They make statements. They do things that are so bad. They say they're going to make a strong border. They say they've been great on the border, and they've been the worst in history. They say they're
Yeah,
going to
it's
stop
horrible. Like
crime,
the
and
facts speak for themselves. The
it's so
facts
incredible.
speak for themselves. Like it's gotten to the point where people just don't even bother reporting crime in a lot of
That's
cities
right.
because they know nothing is going to happen. Um, that's what I hear anecdotally from people all the time. So it's just my values. I'm just saying to people out there, like the things I think are important for the future is like we've got to have safe cities, we've got to have secure borders, we've got to have sensible spending, and we've got to have deregulation, and
Right.
so we can have a prosperous future. And then we want to have some exciting, sort of moonshot projects that people can get fired up about. And that's the future I'm looking for. And I'm pro environment, but I'm not against. I'm not like I don't think we should vilify the oil and gas industry because they're keeping civilization going right now. And but I do think we want to move at a reasonable speed towards a sustainable energy economy. Those are my values, and I think and so I mean that's why I'm supporting you for president.
Well, I
So
appreciate it. We're going to give incentive to companies to come into our country, not to leave our country. We're going to be giving tremendous incentives. We want companies to build here, not to build in other locations. And we want to create jobs. And again, it's about the American dream. You don't hear about the American dream anymore, Elon. You don't hear. You're the American dream in the truest sense, but you don't hear about the American dream anymore. And you're going to hear about it. People, they need that incentive to go out
yeah,
and do it. And they're going to love their lives. I mean, they're going to look forward to getting up in the morning and going to a job that they love, not a job that they can't stand, or not any job at all where they have no money, where they
yeah,
literally have no money, and then they end up with violence and lots of other problems. No, we're
yeah.
going to do some great things. And I learned a lot in the first. We had a great economy and all of that. We rebuilt the military. We did so much, but I also learned the best people. I learned the good people, the smart people, the dumb people, the people that can do things, the people, you learn. When I first came in, I tell people I was in Washington, D.C. only 17 times, according to the fake news media. I was in 17 times. I never stayed over. And you don't know people. You rely on other people to give you names, and then you realize the people you relied on weren't so good. Now, we had great people, but we also had some where I wouldn't have, used them had I known. Now I know everybody. And I think we're going to really turn things around fast. We have no choice. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country. And I really appreciate this. Has been, to me, it's been a lot of fun being with you. You're an amazing guy. You've done an incredible job and a great inspiration to people, a great inspiration. And I hope you keep going and just continue to do well. And we're going to have a big election coming up. And I think November 5th will be the most important day in the history of our country. I think that election will be the most important election. And I think it'll end up being maybe the most important day in the history of our country, because if we don't win, I just feel so sorry for everybody.
No, I think we're at a fork in the road of destiny of civilization, and I think we need to take the right path, and I think you're the right path. So I think that's what it comes down to.
Thank you very much, Elon. It's a great honor, and we'll do it again sometime. And it's been really fun, and I hope you got a lot of viewers. I hear you got a lot, but I hope you got a lot. I know you got a lot of them. So I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Elon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Wait, am I unmuted? Got to make sure I'm unmuted. So how many views is that space at now? How many views is that space at? Does anybody know? Does anybody know how many views? Let me see. Let me look it up. Let me see. Donald J. Trump. Let's see. Let me see. Let's see his space. I see let me see how many views. 40, holy shit, 71 million. Holy shit. 71 million people. That is fucking amazing. And this is after they tried a DDoS attack to take it down. They did everything they could to stop it from happening. That is fucking wild. This is going to be the most listened to interview in history. This is going to be the most viewed interview in the history of interviews. Like, it's wild. Let me see. So, yeah, this is literally going to be the most listened to interview ever. Hold on, I got to share this. I'm going to share this interview to, let me do this. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm posting it to my backup account. Yeah, this is this is without a doubt the biggest live stream ever. This is without a doubt. I mean, just in this live stream alone, we had nearly 12,000 people listening to this interview. And guys, do me a favor. If you're on TikTok, follow my backup accounts. You'll see it down. Wait, where's the camera? You'll see it down here. The OM backup and the OM backup 2. Please follow those. Please follow those accounts, because I am getting mass reported like crazy right now. And look, I know it took it didn't take that long to grow to 1.3 million on TikTok. Not in the general sense. Like, basically took me 10 months. So, look, that's okay. But I want to get back. I want to have these backup accounts up to that amount. If we can get the backup accounts up to over 1 million, thank you so much, Carson. You said let me see and bring up Carson's comment here. Carson, you said, I'm going to head to bed. Great live stream. Thank you so much, Carson. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. But it's so, like, the simple thing is that, look, I want to get these other accounts boosted up. If we can at least get them to a few 100,000, that's where I want to get these backup accounts to. And look, I know there's a ton of fake accounts pretending to be me on there. So you got to weed through that, but it literally is just the OM backup and the OM backup 2. That's all it is. Just want to make sure that everybody gets that, and I'll be saying that on all my videos, just so everybody knows to follow. But yeah, X is devoid of leftists right now. Oh yeah, I have no doubt. Let's see. I bet you they are screwed right now. Love it. You got Mark Hamill posting. Oh Lord, let's see who else we got. Oh wait, let's look at this statement. Let's look at this statement here. I love this. Hold on one second. Let's look at this statement here. Let's see. So let me share this with you. This is the Harris statement. She said, let me make this big. She said, right now, Elon Musk is interviewing Donald Trump live on Twitter. We're not calling it X. It's not enough that Musk has pledged to donate millions of dollars to help reelect Trump. He is using his purchase platform, one of the largest social media sites in the world, to spread Trump's unhinged and hateful agenda to millions of users. If that's all you need to hear, chip in $25. Oh my God, she's fundraising? My God. Oh my God, she's using this for fundraising. Ugh. She literally is using it for fundraising. Ew, God damn, that's fucking embarrassing. All right, let's see what else we got here. Kamala's win says it's important to remember the only reason Donald Trump is interviewing X is because he's physically and mentally incapable of holding a rally in a swing state. What the fuck are they talking about? What are they talking about? Like, what the fuck? Let me see. Let's see what else we got here. Trust women. No. Yeah, Kamala Harris is panicking. She's literally trying to raise money. Look at them. Look at them. They're trying to raise money. It's so adorable. Oh my Lord. Let's see. Breaking Twitter. Yeah. Yeah. They literally, like, it was so popular. They almost broke the internet. Oh, this is awesome. This is wonderful. This is spectacular. Let's see. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, Twitter is making sure I see a lot of Kamala Harris stuff. This is hilarious. Hilarious. I love it. Look, check this out. He was just doing it on his cell phone. Just chilling at the table talking on his cell phone. That's how it should be. Just chilling, just saying his thing. Let's see what else is posted here. Twitter blackout, 8 p.m. Eastern. No. See, I love that somebody said this. Let's take a look at who said this. Thanks, actress. Let's see. Proud mom. Okay, cool. What did you think? You think you were actually gonna black out Twitter? Like, I love that. Love that. They thought they were gonna black out Twitter. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my God. Oh, that's a wonderful quote. That's a wonderful quote. Oh, I love that. I love that quote. That's such a good one. That's a very good quote right there. There you go. This is a perfect way to sum up the interview. You are the path to prosperity, and Kamala is the opposite. Love it. Exactly. Wonderful. Oh yeah, look at these two. Jesus Christ. Read the quote, damn it. Which quote? You said read the quote, damn it. All right, fine. If Hillary Clinton can't satisfy her husband, what makes her think she can satisfy America? It's true. I love that. Wait, these are his mean tweets. Awesome. Let's see what else we got here. Ariana Huff is unattractive both inside and out. I fully understand why her former husband left her for a man. He made a good decision. Love that. Let's see what else we got. President of the United States on my first try. I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius. And a very stable genius. I love it. Healthy young child goes to doctor, gets pumped with massive shot of many vaccines, doesn't feel good and changes. Autism, many such cases. Oh, yeah, there you go. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, yeah. Trump's got a history of talking mad shit. Sorry, Kevin. My bad. This is wonderful. What do my notifications say? Let's see. Just told people to follow my backup here. All right. So that is going to be it for the live stream tonight because I think my fiance wants to go look at meteors. I don't know. She wants to go look at like stars. There's like some kind of meteor shower tonight, so we have to go do that. But yeah, so that should be fun. We'll see how that goes. All right, but I thank you guys so much. We have 12,105 people in here. Most of them are probably on X, I imagine, because X tends to 12,020 of them are on X. 77 on YouTube. Thanks so much. Guys, join the team. Join the team so I can do this shit full time. You can always join the team, and I can do this shit full time. We can have a lot of fun with it. All right. All right, guys. So that is going to be it. I'm going to go look at meteors, I guess. We'll see. All right. So that should be fun. All right, guys. No. I've already started responding to Harry Sisson. Don't worry. I got you. Don't you worry about that. I'll take care of Harry before they ban my big account. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys.